with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by Lexus of Memphis, 2600 Ridgeway, and put yourself in the driver's seat of an all-new 2019 flagship LS500. Hey, you look pretty good there. Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event at Lexus of Memphis. Experience amazing.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. It's time for Sports Time with Wolo and Stacks. The first hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin and Brett Stotts Norsworthy.
Oh, what a weekend this has been. I mean, I've been through it before where you run through a whole bunch of emotions, but you can't take away the elation from Saturday. That is for certain. And stats, there's the, new polls are out, and we got a couple new guys going into the Baseball Hall of Fame, and we got a really rich pitcher who, boy, was he ever smart. He traded $100 million for $245. That was a pretty good deal for Steven Strasburg.
Yeah, he wasn't broke before he signed his new deal.
Yeah. I don't think he ever worried about that. The Tiger basketball team had one of the great comebacks of the last dozens of years.
It really did.
Kind of cool.
Almost lost in the weekend.
And then we got the college football playoff poll and the naming of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl teams, and, of course, where the Tigers, and really, at that point, who the Tigers would play in the Cotton Bowl, and it turns out to be Penn State. But I start with this question to you. The 4 playoff teams that were named, and no one's going to argue with those, that would be Oklahoma, Lincoln Riley. That would be Ohio State and Ryan Day. That would be LSU in the number 1 spot, and Ed Orgeron, and then that would be in the second spot, or the third spot, Clemson and the defending champions coach Dabo Swinney. What would you think if I tell you there is a common denominator to all 4 of those coaches? Now, we know
3 of the 4 offensive guys, so that's not common to all 4. Ed Orgeron doesn't know one thing about offense.
That is correct.
Orgeron and Dabo were never coordinators.
No, that's true, but the others were. So that's not a common denominator. All 4.
I give.
All 4 were elevated from within their program to become head football coaches.
They were sitting right there.
And I bring that up because
with odd timing. Ed Orgeron in season, fill out the ballots. Dabo Swinney in season. Lincoln Riley in May, off season,
right,
with the Bob Stoops
announcement. And Ryan Day of twice.
Yeah,
yes,
yes,
because when Urban Meyer got suspended, he was the head coach.
Yeah, he kind of got the suicide mission twice.
Right.
So not too bad of a mission.
That's the common denominator that I'm looking to make a point with.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that the University of Memphis brass that is being led by Laird Veach shouldn't look everywhere. They should. They should, like they did with Fuente, and like they did, and I assume that there's a lot of the same people doing this, and like they did when they got Mike Norvell, they should do that again. But I would tell you that I think they will come back to the same guy they just named interim, because I believe he's the right guy. He is one great recruiter. He's brought many of these guys here. I've never heard or seen a guy on the staff or on the team that didn't have the most wonderful respect for Ryan Silverfield. And I can tell you he knows his stuff. He was involved in the NFL as an offensive line coach. He could have left here almost every year, but he likes Memphis. He's got an unbelievable wife, nice family, man. She's going to be a doctor. She got her medical degree, or is in the midst of getting it, from the University of Chicago. She's going to work for the health church health group here part-time while she's working for Baptist, I believe, as an OBGYN. I mean, you can't get better people. And the guy knows his stuff. I mean, he's been involved in the run game coordination and in all the protections. He's the offensive line coach. The guy is the associate head coach, so he's involved in a lot of the organizations and the meetings. I'm just telling you, what he said yesterday really turned me on. He said, this is my job. I don't want this as a stepping stone. I would like for us to be right back here in 20 years, and for you young guys that are still around, which probably isn't me, that we're making this a retirement press conference. Now, I've never heard that said before, and I believe he's sincere because he and his wife have found a place they want to live.
He helped himself yesterday, and in the preseason, the biggest question mark around this team was offensive line. That was dispelled by the end of September, that it was going to be anything but onward and upward with it. And opening day, that was the shot I thought Ole Miss had on opening day, was that defensive line exploit, get the better of the Memphis O-line. They didn't. It was pretty good battle. Memphis won to the victory go the spoils. That's who won the O-line D-line battle. It's the team that won the game. And then it got better and better and better over every game. And got a bunch of returning starts next year in that offensive line.
Now, I as a game caller, I know he was a high school coach calling his own plays. I don't know if he's ever been a college game caller. None of the offensive coordinators under Norvell were game callers. That was all Mike. And let's get to the game for a little bit. We'll get back to this discussion on who you would like to see as head coach.
Great game.
But how, and this is one thing that I don't know that we'll ever have from any other coach ever again. And I'm serious. And he can't help himself. That's just the way he is. But how in the world do you start this football game, this championship game, with a chance to go to the Cotton Bowl with an onside kick?
That's who you are. That's who he is.
He can't. I'm telling you, he can't help himself.
Roll the dice and really spotted him. That 7 points. That 7 was hard to catch.
Well, it should have been only 3.
Sure should have been.
It should have been only. Here's the interesting aspect about it, and let's just explain Mike Norvell. How many times have I come in and told you that he has said to me in a Thursday meeting that he sees 2 or 3 different things, that he tells me if they're in this alignment and we do this, this is a game breaker. This one's going to go. It could be a kick return because he's seen something. It could be the way they align in a certain thing where they can do something. He tells me about 2 or 3, and just 85% of the time, I would say, minimum 85% of the time, it works. So he saw something. And he thought it would work. And you know what? They got the ball.
They got the ball.
Calvin Austin interfered a little bit, which really put him in a hole. The defense, which if I'm going to say one thing about Adam Fuller's defense, because I think efficiency, they're pretty decent. They have been incredible. Better than decent. Better than good. Really good. When there is a change of possession, that defense has stopped people. And they did in this particular instance. And then they gave him a second chance with a special teams play running into the kicker, and they took the 3 points. Or was that not, what was that?
It was good. It was 3.
It was good, but what was the penalty there? I'm trying to remember.
Roughing. It was running into the kicker. It was running into the kicker because it's only 5 yards.
Yeah. So and they end up getting 7, and that was so now Memphis has to mount a comeback, and they had to come back 4 times in this game to be champions. 4 times.
Yeah, it was a lot of lead changes, and that 7, it stayed out there all day. I still don't mind it. You said Calvin Austin. Is he number 84?
Yes.
Saturday on a punt formation. I'm going to say punting around midfield or so. He was lined up. They were going south to north. Tigers going right to left if you're watching on your radio dial.
There you go.
And he's lined up as left gunner. They bring him in motion in full sprint. I don't mean jogging in motion, full tilt, as fast as he could run. And so he goes to the right side, and they snap the ball almost simultaneous to when he want to turn upfield. They snap the ball, and he's down on top of the receiver, untouched. It's
do realize
special teams play.
You do realize he made the NCAAs in sprints last year. He's a world-class sprinter.
And it showed it running in motion and covering the punt.
Man.
solid team. I told Drew, I guess we'll do it after I see 2 more teams at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, because I haven't seen Navy in person. You have, and I haven't seen Kansas State in person this year. I watched them once or twice, at least twice on television. I watched them when they played Mississippi State, when they played Oklahoma. So at the end of the year, I will have seen in person 18 teams this year, and so far it's 16. I have ranked where I have the teams, and Cincinnati is way up there in my ranking. Cincinnati's really good. Now, digest that a little bit. You think Cincinnati's pretty good?
Yeah.
I do too. You saw them twice. I saw them once. Cincinnati's really kind of pretty good, aren't they?
Memphis,
I think so.
Memphis is just a little bit better. And
look
Memphis,
what Ohio State did to Cincinnati.
I know it.
That's how good they are.
I know it. That was 43-0, I think.
Something like that. It was way up there. That's how good Ohio State really that they are this year.
They are a complete team. But it's interesting, since you say that. If you looked at the odds in these college football playoff games in the semifinals, LSU is now a 12-point favorite. I think it opened at 10 over Oklahoma, which makes you wonder, really, should Oklahoma have been the 4th team? But the way things worked out, that they were the likely
it was easy
choice to do, sure. The Ohio State 2-seed, Clemson 3-seed. It is Clemson that is a 2-point favorite in this football game. And that's against the team that you and I are both saying is the most complete team.
Yeah, at 5 o'clock we'll visit with Barrett Jones like we do on Mondays, and he's seen all these CFP football 4 teams in person this year, and I think he did the ACC game Saturday night. I know he's had Oklahoma a time or two. He's had Ohio State a time or two. He's had LSU a time or two, and I know he saw Clemson at least last Saturday. So we'll get his perspective about that. But CFP, they had a very easy job.
It is interesting to me, since you said you ranked these teams. Every game that I saw with Memphis this year, I would have to rank them number 1. The team that beat them, Temple, was fortunate to beat them. Memphis was the better team, and I thought they were the better team that day. And if it hadn't been for a bum call, they might have won it on the scoreboard as well.
Oh, you want mine? My 16?
But I was really curious. Or you don't have to go all 16, but you saw Alabama, obviously. You saw Auburn, obviously.
LSU.
You saw LSU. LSU's got to be your top team, right?
Here it is. LSU 1, Auburn 2, Alabama 3, Memphis 4,
wow,
Cincinnati 5,
wow,
Texas A&M 6. Now, California gets a little squirrely because I saw them, and then their quarterback got hurt the next week, and that kind of dissolved their team the rest of the year. I have California 7, Mizzou 8, Arkansas State 9, Mississippi State 10, Ole Miss 11, Vanderbilt 12, Texas State 13, Southeast Louisiana 14, Arkansas 15, and New Mexico State 16.
Wow, you had Southeast Louisiana better than Arkansas.
Yeah, I thought it was clearly better, and they just got eliminated from the FCS playoffs this last weekend.
I am really curious, and I'm certainly not putting down that it is a offensive lineman or offensive line coach, because here I am telling you that I'm for Ryan Silverfield for this connection, for this job. I do think they need to make a search, but I am for Ryan Silverfield, and I just talked to you about interim coaches. But it's hard for me to believe that the number 1 choice that ended up going to Arkansas was really their number 1 choice in Sam Pittman, the offensive line coach at Georgia. Now,
if you want to believe it, believe it.
I hear he's a good recruiter.
Great recruiter, great O-line coach.
58-year-old guy, though, in a young man's game.
Fun-loving guy, and kind of a sane, sober version of Brett Bielema.
I'm really curious, and we're not going to take calls in this early segment, but I would love to get some texts from people that are Arkansas fans, and I saw several over the last few nights at social occasions where at the time that I saw these folks, they all felt they were getting Lane Kiffin.
They won't admit that now, but that's the way it is.
No, I think they would, and I think because they're smart guys. And
you end up having to love the guy you get.
Yeah, there's no question.
It's the son-in-law theory. You got to love your son-in-law. You can't be rooting against him.
I just want to know what their sense of all that is, and if that is a good look for their AD.
Now, he got it right in the end with Eric Musselman, but he had NCAA bona fides with Nevada. I want to go back to my list, just one person's list. LSU, Auburn, and Alabama ahead of Memphis. And I did this with Drew before the show. If they played them road, home, and neutral, what would it look like? There's not one of those teams that it would be, oh gosh, let's don't even do that. Let's don't even sign up for that. I think it's a sweep for LSU, home, road, neutral. I don't know about Auburn and Alabama.
I do think this much. I think Memphis would move the ball. Certainly
I think
on
they
LSU.
move the ball on LSU.
I certainly think
now,
they move the ball
LSU's
on
defense got well down the stretch and will really get good and well for this bowl matchup. Del Pete got better, and what Derek Stingley Jr. is doing as a true freshman, that's amazing, even for DBU. I mean, even for a place that has churned out great defensive back play through the years, it's phenomenal. This hour brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis, 2600 Ridgeway, and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Call them at 901-362-8833. Lexus of Memphis offering the golden opportunity, December to remember sales event. Great offers on the very few remaining 2019s, all the 2020s, and always on special lease options. Driving luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by today at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of an all-new 2020 flagship LS500 and start your year looking and driving great. Lexus of Memphis, the highest standards in the car business. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design that makes for the luxury driving experience. 901-362-8833. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, come on. That's absolutely the Tigers in the Cotton Bowl and the great win coming from behind. And then, of course, the departure of Mike Norvell that we all knew it was going to happen. Now the naming of Ryan Silverfield. And there's a funny, cute story. When Ryan was younger, he was, I want to say he was a grad assistant at a small Division II college. And where that was near a bowl game, and the bowl game escapes me. And James Franklin was like a coordinator at some college that was playing in that bowl game. And Ryan Silverfield, as a young GA, was his host at that bowl game. Wow. His host.
And Ryan
at that bowl game.
High school, the bowl school in Jacksonville, right now, kind of famously known as the high school for Mac Jones, the quarterback at Alabama, but more famous for being Chipper Jones, Hall of Famer's high school in Jacksonville.
And just one last thing, new basketball poll out today. And the Tigers basketball team moved up on the strength of that big win to 13th in the poll. Tennessee is 19th, which means the game on Saturday is 13 versus 19.
Two top 20 teams dueling it out at Thompson Bowling Saturday afternoon at 2 Memphis time. My top story, Tigers, champs. Cotton Bowl against Penn State. Penn State, that's one of, if you rattle off the nuclear club members in the history of college football, you don't rattle along without getting to Penn State. And it's at AT&T Stadium, Jerry's World, back-to-back weeks over Cincinnati, tons of pressure. Only 4 penalties Saturday for the Tigers. 4 penalties for 40 yards. That's nothing. You'll sign up for that every week. They get outrushed by Cincinnati. They spot them 7 to basically start the game. They still win 29-24. I saw the Tigers in person on opening day and closing day at the Liberty Bowl Stadium, and both winning margins were by 5 when I went.
That's
so
right.
if I go, you can guarantee a Tiger win by at least 5 or more.
Well, come on.
And now for the Tigers to have this historic season, 12 wins, there's a chance that only the national champion can have more wins than Memphis this year. If the Tigers win and the right kind of losses occur in the playoffs, only the national champion could have more wins. At the end of the year, one team out of 130, 129 others and you've got as many or more wins than 128 of them, wow, historic.
By the way, Tigers are 9-point underdogs by the early odds makers.
I didn't think it was that big
in Las Vegas. And since you mentioned,
I saw 7.5 today.
It might have moved. It was 9 in today's paper, which is like
today's
yesterday's
paper.
Deal, right? Since you brought it up, it'll be my first time at Jerry's World. I am really excited.
Go on the tour, and they're going to give you a little printout of all the oddities. And my favorite, I think it's 16 semi-trucks and trailers that they can park under the stadium unencumbered.
The coolest thing, I don't know if you'll ever beat this, is the Barclays Center where you take the elevator in the bus down.
That's pretty good.
And then the floor turns you. That to me is incredible.
Tigers 7-point underdog to Penn State as we speak.
Ooh. Money's going to the Tigers and to
it's
Ryan Silver.
It's real-time gaming now, Dave.
Love it.
Not top story of the day.
This is a sad story. Pete Frates. Does that name ring a bell to you?
I'm sorry, it doesn't.
He's the former BC Boston College baseball player, captain of the team.
And the story's up over your right shoulder as we speak.
Oh, how about that?
Wow.
He's the guy.
Yeah, that's it.
That basically invented pouring cold water out of the Gatorade container onto the winning coach's shoulders and head. And he did it really to raise all kinds of money for ALS because, unfortunately, Pete Frates had ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. And today, Pete Frates, at the very young age of 34, passed away from the disease he was trying to help cure.
Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, and boy, it don't play.
Nope.
It is. Ooh, it's the diagnosis you wouldn't wish on a worse sworn enemy. My not top story, Mike Norvell is gone. And did he ever leave it in better shape than he found it? And he found it in really good shape, but he's leaving it in great shape. I hope it's for Ryan Silverfield. I think he can take it to even another level. And yes, there's another level above this one, and it includes the next time a round of realignment occurs, and to be positioned properly for that, to leave them with no complaints. There's no boxes. A couple times, football. No more of that. Basketball's always been its own kind of world power. Ryan Silverfield can parlay this to even better. But thank you to Mike Norvell. What a 3 years.
And I must confess, I'm very proud of Tiger fans because there has not been anybody that I know of, message boards or anywhere, that has ripped on Norvell for leaving.
I don't know how you really could.
I don't know what he did here is, well, he's going to get a gold medal from me later, but 38 wins in 4 years. You realize that's 9.5 wins a year?
You know FSU
72% winning percentage. Yeah, you went over this. Was it Boise?
No. Opening day next year against West Virginia.
West Virginia.
In Atlanta.
In Atlanta. He gets the national spotlight right off the bat.
He knows he starts with the Mountaineers and he closes with the Gators.
I hear he's bringing Kenny Dillingham, by the way.
It's been announced.
Tallahassee as his OC. He's a loyal guy, even though I think of all the guys, seriously, all the guys that left him, the one guy I thought he was a little miffed at was Kenny. Because he had brought him here, and did he ever give him raises. But obviously, he's okay because he's taking them with him to Tallahassee. This portion of the show brought to you by Family Leisure. We're in the Family Leisure studio, but I urge you to get to I-40 and Wooden Road because we are now hot and heavy into the buy one, get half off Christmas sale. If you're looking for a Christmas gift for your friend or somebody in your family, maybe even for yourself, now is the perfect time. You buy one item for that somebody special, you get the second half for you. If you want, you get it for half off. Best deals now until Christmas Eve, including pool tables as low as $14.99, arcades as low as $9.99. Those massage chairs, we've been talking about them a bunch, they're still as low as $6.99, and even hot tubs on sale now starting at $1,400. All you got to do is get to I-40 and Whidden Road, go a little bit north, look to your right, and there you will find where we will be on Thursday for Toys for Tots. It's Family Leisure. Back in a minute, we will chat with David Cobb from the Commercial Appeal. Short segment on the Grizz. It's next on Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy get you through the midday with Sports 56 Middays. Delivered by FedEx. Weekdays from 10 till 1 on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
The Season of Performance event is going on now at Acura of Memphis. Choose from a large selection of Acura of Memphis's entire lineup. The Acura TLX with premium tech and exceptional performance. Or drive the 3-row, 7-passenger SUV, the Acura MDX. Or Acura of Memphis' top-selling luxury crossover, the Acura RDX. Stop in and take advantage of special year-end pricing as well as incredible lease and financing options. Visit AcuraofMemphis.com.
It's a winter wonderland at Envy Nail Bar, and if you're looking to host a party during the holidays, I know just the perfect spot for you. Envy Nail Bar has the most beautiful private room that awaits you. Feel pampered and spoiled with their complimentary full premium adult beverage bar. Sit back and get a full body massage with your Petty Mani. I'm loving it. And don't forget your holiday gift cards. Everyone would love their Petty Mani. When you buy a gift card, you get a bonus gift card. Call Salon for details. Envy Nail Bar, corner of Poplar and Perkins.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test driven, checked out from head to toe, unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
Are you overworked and underpaid in that employment rut with no promotion in sight, or did you just lose your job? Then you need to contact the experts at ProResume. Go to ProResume.biz or call 685-1950, the fastest way to a new job.
Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Now, back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Wolochen and Brett Norsworthy.
Back in the Family Leisure Studios, stunning news coming out of the NBA right now. Stunning news. I'm sure our guest from the Commercial Appeal, the Grizzlies beat writer and the guy who's one of our experts on the NBA, David Cobb, he's stunned right now too. You believe the Houston Rockets didn't win their appeal on that last 7 minutes and 50 seconds the other night?
They told him to go fly a kite, David.
I'm shocked. I'm absolutely shocked. No, I mean, it happened in the last. There was still a lot of time left in that game, and I mean, if that happens in the first quarter, I don't even know if the challenge happens. But I'm not surprised. And considering who it happened to, it's harder to feel sympathy for James Harden, just given the kind of treatment that he gets from the officials already. So
no kidding. And David, you just can't start a precedent of that at any time. If it happened on the last bucket of the game, because then you could go back and go, well, what about at the 8:17 mark of the second quarter when he clearly stepped out of bounds and you didn't? I mean, we have to end sports on the day that it's played, and if we lose, we lose. And I'm saying that as the only person that's not still mad at Don Dinkinger for the '85 World Series and the Cardinals. You move on, tough toenails, quit all the belly aching.
I'm not mad at Dinkinger.
You shouldn't be, but I'm not either. You can't have this in the incessant relitigating of it. I'm sick of it.
Yeah. It's interesting. I think there's been like only a couple of times in NBA history that they've actually restarted a game at a certain point, some matter of time later. And in that one instance, a couple of the players who had been on one team to start out were traded by the time they had resumed the game, and they were on the other team. And I don't forget exactly what the instance was, but it's been very rare.
Shaq was primary to it once, and was not even he was improperly disqualified. It was not his sixth foul. They DQ'd him with his fifth. They had it in error at the scorer's table, and when they replayed it, that's one of the 4 times they've done it. He wasn't even with the team.
Yeah. So I'm not surprised at all by the decision not to grant that challenge. And I mean, the thing is, we've got all this replay now. We've got the coaches' challenges now. There's got to be a way to get these things right in the game. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, they can go back during a timeout and review whether it was a 2-pointer or a 3-pointer. Why can't they just go over to the monitor and see if the ball went through the basket, at a timeout? I don't know. Like, you've got all these things in your arsenal now with the replay and the challenge. It just seems like a no-brainer or common sense that you could get something like that right in the game.
Well, there's a couple weird things here. First off, I've never really am sure on that 3-point line play. Do you have to ask the referee first dead ball foul to look and check, or did they just do that on their own if they did?
They do it on their own. In fact, you'll notice it sometimes. I've noticed from my vantage point at the forum, which is one of the best in the league for media, where you'll see the official signal to the scorer's table on his way back down the court that, hey, we're going to review that. So that way, I mean, everybody's sort of prepared for it to be reviewed. And then a lot of times you'll notice coming out of the timeout that the score's been adjusted. And because they've got it queued up for the first time out, they go over there and look at it. And the ref usually knows right away, hey, I think that was a 3, but I want to look at it. And so why can't you do that in this situation? Why can't you count the basket or disallow the basket or whichever way and just say, hey, we're going to look at that the next time down? To me, that just seems like an obvious continuation of the way the game is going. And I'm not saying that you need, trust me, the replays get old for everybody. But if you do it during a timeout or during what's already going to be a stoppage, then a lot of times you don't even really notice.
Well, and the other part to this is in that particular play, the referees, because it came out so violently, they just felt it never went down. It never went through. And that really should have been on the Rockets, and they had 30 seconds, apparently, to question, and for whatever reason, they didn't.
Yeah, the coach's challenge, that's an interesting rule because that 30 seconds can go by real quick if they enforce it. I mean, it can go by real quick.
Really fast.
Depending on when you start the clock as the official, so to speak. So, I don't know. I don't know if the implementation of the coach's challenge. I mean, the Grizzlies have not even hardly used it. I don't even know if they've used it at all. And it's been met with sort of, I think, mixed reviews around the league. I mean, at the end of the day, why should you have to expend a coach's challenge on something that's so black and white like that? I get it maybe on a foul call or something, but the ball either went through the basket or it didn't. There's not a whole lot of judgment or human error, or there shouldn't be in a situation like that. So just go and look at the monitor and see if you got it right or not, and move on. To me, that's a strange call in the first place to even be, an option for the coach's talent.
David, you had breaking news earlier today. Breaking Memphis Hustle news. Josh Jackson will be out of the game today for violation of team rules. That's kind of what everybody's been most worried about.
Yeah, it's weird. So everything to this point until today has been positive on Josh Jackson. The Hustle coach, Jason March, Grizzlies coach Taylor Jenkins, other players on the Hustle have really talked about. I mean, more so than I maybe anticipated, because it's one of those things that when you bring it up, you don't expect to get a lot out of people on it. But when you have heard people discuss it, Jason March was on with Peter the other day talking about not the team as a whole, but also Josh Jackson. And, the reviews have been overwhelmingly positive until today. He violates team rules, and Yahoo says, he missed a meeting. I don't know. I don't know what to make of that. I don't know if you throw out everything that he's done to this point over that one thing, because if it really is just missing a team meeting, to me, I think he can get past that. I don't think it's, necessarily an indicator that this is going to go off the rails. But if there's a reason, a specific reason that we're not aware of as to why he missed that team meeting, maybe there could be more to it. At this point, though, I don't think that it necessarily negates what is otherwise, by most accounts, been a pretty positive thing for both sides to this point.
I wonder when I see that, if this isn't just a buildup of frustration. The Hustle played really well, and he's been really good. And as you said, there have been no complaints. He's been an exemplary guy, and maybe he's just going, look, I did everything you've asked me. We've played a quarter of the season already, and you won't give me a sniff. What more can I do? Why should you're not going to keep me? You had your chance to do that earlier. What's really in this for me? And I'm just tired of it.
I don't know. I'm that's what maybe more so than anything this indicates to me is what is a positive resolution. It's getting harder and harder to see how this ends well for both sides, I guess. I mean, maybe the Grizzlies could trade him and get something in a trade, and then he goes somewhere where he plays. That's a win-win for both sides. But in terms of Josh Jackson being a long-term piece of the Grizzlies, I don't see it. I don't see it at this point because he's going to be an unrestricted free agent. And I just don't believe that what they've asked him to do is going to endear them to him in any way if he has his pick of teams as an unrestricted free agent. I just don't see that, him being a part of this long term, unless things really start to take a different direction here. So I'm not ready to throw Josh Jackson under the bus in this one team meeting, but I mean, this to me is just sort of an additional indication that it's going to be hard for him to necessarily be a part of this team's long-term plan.
So not even big piece of the puzzle. You saw him as no piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, I see him as no piece of the puzzle right now because, look, I mean, if they don't think they're going to re-sign him, and why would they? Why would they think they're going to re-sign him? And what purpose does he ultimately play for the Grizzlies this year? They've got Marco Guduric under contract through the end of next season. They got Grayson Allen under contract through the end of next season. They're trying, or should be at least, to get Anthony Melton more minutes because he's played well when Ja was out. And so you've got all these guys today who they've got more invested in long term. And so what are you going to do? You're going to call Josh Jackson up and knowing full well that your chances of re-signing him are probably pretty slim and take away minutes from guys who are actually a part of the future. I don't see that. I think at this point, maybe a trade would be the best resolution for both sides because maybe it could get Josh Jackson some NBA minutes and maybe the Grizzlies could get something out of him.
Well, I think if I were the Grizzlies, when I'm doing all this load management garbage, I would play him then. Oh, Josh's not going to play tonight? Okay, we'll bring him up. Melton's not going to play tonight? Come on.
I would too. I'd
want to see what the guy can do because he's done up to now, and I have no idea what this is all about. And if it's frustration, I guess I don't blame the guy because he's done everything he was supposed to, and you're not giving him one sniff, and that would get old, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was fun. They started out 10-0, and that I'm sure that was to a certain extent became exciting for him. But then they did have their first loss the other night. They're on the road, bouncing between time zones. I'm pretty sure they're in Canada somewhere right now. I mean, playing against a team in Ontario. And so they've been on the road. They're bouncing between time zones, and it may just be a situation where he overslept. That's an alarm. I don't know. That could be all there is to it, and they're just holding them to this really, really high standard. I just don't see how any of this is working towards any sort of a Josh Jackson, Grizzlies, Kumbaya ending.
Yeah, I'm with you. Thank you so much, David.
Be safe.
Have a great week on all your travels.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, David.
That is David Cobb, beat writer of the Grizzlies for the Commercial Appeal. This portion of the show is brought to you by Campbell Clinic. $49 million palace to help all Memphians around. You see that big rehab pool they got in there? Everything that is state-of-the-art, it's there. Well, look, they've been taking care of all the elite athletes and really all of us when it comes to orthopedics in Memphis forever. They're the best when it comes to replacements. If you think you need hip, knee, shoulder replaced, they've got 2 different surgery centers where you can come in the morning and you're actually at home recovering by the afternoon. If you are one of those that is skittish, and I don't blame you, you don't think you'll get back, you're really worried about it, They do so many of these, and I've never heard anybody regret having a hip or knee replaced by the doctors at Campbell Clinic. In fact, the chorus is always, why didn't I do this before? Campbell Clinic, with 5 locations now to end your nagging joint pain once and for all. Just call 901-759-3111, or you can schedule an appointment online at campbellclinic.com. More bowl talk and college football and all the news of the day. Man, what a busy day. It's Monday. It's Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
Search Sports 56 on Facebook and give us a like. And follow us on Twitter at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. When was the last time you had your heating system tuned up? Did you know your heating system can lose up to 5% efficiency every year it skips a tune-up? Why compromise your family's comfort? Good news, it's heating system tune-up time at Conway Services. Schedule your heating system tune-up today for just $57. Not only will you save big, but we'll also include a Google Home Mini absolutely free while supplies last. That's right, get Conway Services 16-point Energy Saver Super Tune-up on your heating system for only $57 and get a Google Home Mini absolutely free. The experts at Conway Services will make sure your heating system is ready for those cold winter nights, all for only $57, and we'll include a Google Home Mini absolutely free. Why trust your comfort to anyone else? Stay warm and stay connected. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511. That's 384-3511.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
Ho, ho, hold it. There's a brand new Chevy in Olive Branch with a big red bow and your name on it. If you're ready for a new Chevy, a Silverado, a Traverse, the all-new Blazer, ready for any new Chevy, most of All-Star's new 2019s are now at employee prices. You know what that means? You could save thousands paying what the employees pay. And most of the 2019s are included. All-Star has lots of 2019s, people. Lots more than any other Mid-South dealers. And All-Star Chevrolet and Olive Branch has the best testing grounds in the Mid-South. Back roads, highways, get a feel for it, and maybe that'll end up underneath your tree. Just go to allstarautogroup.com and see what I'm talking about. And remember, don't go to the Pike or Mount Moriah or Collierville or South Haven. For the Beat Any Dealer's Price Challenge and your best time ever, it's gotta be Olive Branch. So find new roads to All-Star Chevy and Olive Branch or go to allstarautogroup.com today. It's time to bring in the old and drive home with the new.
Hey folks, I'm Jarrett Carter. My family recently purchased East Memphis Ace Hardware at Quince and White Station, and we're excited to offer the best selection of Big Green Egg and Traeger grills. And then don't forget about our Benjamin Moore Paint Studio and the Garden Center for fall flowers. Save 60% with our new Duracell key fob replacement program. We have a master locksmith service as well as glass cutting and screen repair. We're located at Quince and White Station behind Three Little Pigs. Look forward to seeing everyone over the holidays.
It's that time of year. Come join us at Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, Thursday, December 12th, all day, 7 to 6. We're raising money and, most importantly, bringing toys for Mid-South Toys for Tots. Help the boys and girls of the Mid-South have a happy holiday. You can do it. Bring those new unwrapped toys, checks, cash. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, Thursday, December 12th, 7 to 6. Sponsored by Envy Nail Bar, Gateway Tire, David C. Nanny CPA in Hempville, South Haven, and Oxford.
First Bank is here to help you, whether you're a business looking for a loan to expand or refinance an existing one, a homeowner looking for a mortgage or home equity line, a consumer wanting to finance your dream car, or wanting a competitive rate on your CD deposits. Let First Bank try to handle your banking needs. Stop into one of First Bank's 3 local branches today, 6482 Poplar Avenue just east of International Paper, 8398 Highway 64 across from Wolf Chase, and 6280 Highway 64 in Oakland. Or check them out online at firstbankonline.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Now, back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
Matt's coming your way in a minute. We did have a texter who said, has it ever worked before? Were you promoted from within in the Tiger football program? And the answer is overwhelmingly yes, and it worked out quite well.
In this century.
He was only with the program for a year before he got promoted. He came on board, I think, who did he replace? Did he replace John Thompson?
He did replace John Thompson. Johnny was here in 99, and Tommy came in for the 2000 season, and then was hired.
Rip Shearer hired him after he gotten fired
Johnny went
at Clemson. Johnny went home, so to speak, and Rip came in, or Tommy came in, and then Rip got bounced, and they hired Tommy. And we had a heck of a run with Tommy West.
Sure did.
Ending a 30-year bull drought and having a superstar player in D'Angelo Williams.
If you're a Tiger fan under 30, man, it's been good to you.
Under 30, yeah, like my son?
Like Drew. Like your sons. If you're under, I mean, it has been. Yeah, you had 2 years.
You did have to live through Tommy West
at the end.
At the end wasn't good, and then the real bottom. Then the real bottom. Time, ladies and gentlemen, for precious metals. I got a couple of bronzes. I got to give Anthony Davis a bronze medal. He got his fourth 50-point game in his career. And LeBron had 32, and I think all 8 of the assists he had went to AD. The whole Lakers team was trying to get AD to 50, but you realize 82 points between those two guys? That's pretty darn amazing.
That's what they spent the money for.
I got to give the Baltimore Ravens, who have now won 9 in a row.
My Ravens.
No. I don't want you on board. You've ruined the last team.
No.
You're not on board. You are not allowed on this boat.
Y'all came at me with pots and pans when I said that. I ain't kidding.
Anything he's touched is gone.
I don't want you on my boat.
Rust.
My Ravens, man, that didn't go over well at all. I thought y'all would chuckle with
that.
No, it's my Ravens. I'm on a 9-game win streak.
Man.
And
you're not allowed on my side.
And you know what?
Y'all came at me with ball fist over that.
I think that Buffalo team is going to try. I did that little joke, the ball fist, to check out
How'd it go over?
Quinones' hand today. I don't think he liked it.
Yeah.
I tried. I said, come on, coach. It's funny. Yeah.
He gave you a radio laugh, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, the Ravens deserve it. Silver medal, LSU, Joe Burrow. I think for sure he won that Heisman. I know for a fact they got the number 1 seed by the dominance.
Did you vote yesterday?
over Georgia. I actually voted this morning.
Good for you.
And then finally,
I think I put more time and concern into voting for the Heisman yesterday than I have a couple presidential elections.
You love doing the research. I'm just glad you got the vote. I really am.
Thank you.
Finally, gold medal.
Thank you.
Tiger football, 12 wins, first title in 50 years. Mike Norvell, 38 wins. His winning percentage, number 1 in school history, almost 72% of the games that he coached. The Tigers walked away with a W.
My bronze goes to Jameis Winston. I've been hard on him most of his pro career. 456 yesterday for Jameis Winston, and a pretty big win for the Bucs. We'll talk to TJ about it on Wednesday when we talk NFL and the Bucs with him. 391 for Ryan Tannehill. They made the right move going from Mariota to him. 153 of those yards to A.J. Brown, playing like that high draft choice that they needed. For all these years, they've needed a big-time receiver. Silver goes to, apropos, Ryan Silverfield. All the right things said yesterday, and I think he'll be the Tigers' next head coach. Also a silver medal to everybody's new coach. They're all great. They were all the first selection. We never talked to anybody else, never dreamed of anybody else, wouldn't have taken Nick Saban over fill in the blank for all these coaches. Everybody says that. Believe that if you want to. That's part of being a fan. A goal goes to Jimmy G in the win of the year.
How about that?
48-46, first NFL score ever to fall on 48-46.
How did you do on picks, by the way? 'Cause neither of us had that game.
I've got them. Nobody did well, but you advanced your lead by 1.
Really? I did?
Yeah.
I was 5-7 and I did?
Yeah, it was pretty bad all the way around.
Oh, my gosh.
Gold medal goes to Clemson, Ohio State, and LSU for the CFP Football 4. Gold medal goes to Tigers kicker Riley Patterson.
How about that?
The most second famous Riley in Tigers football history.
And they played together for a year.
To Riley Ferguson. And the most second famous Patterson in Tigers football history.
Lucky Lloyd?
To Lucky Lloyd. But he also had three big kicks Saturday. One, only 29, and then 50 and 52, and they would have been good from even further downtown.
That 52-yarder was into the wind, too.
Into the wind and way deep and good. He had 11 points in the game. 11 points really mattered.
Hey, are we kicker you? The very first Grozo Award winner was Joey
Kicker
Allison.
Some wide receiver you, some DBU.
Gotti, Elliott, and now this kid.
So a little bit of a quarterback you.
Getting there.
Getting there. My final goal goes to, as in purple and gold, to LSU, undefeated. And he will be the Heisman Trophy winner, Joe Burrow. And how about this? Only you and I know, Dave. Us Heisman voters. Only us know this. You ready?
Don't tell me who you voted for.
I'm not telling you who I voted for. If he wins, Joe Burrow will be the first Heisman Trophy winner to ever wear number 9.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
Going all the way back?
All the way back.
There's never been another number
another
9 before? Billy Wade didn't win it then, huh?
No, Billy Wade did not win it at Vanderbilt. He did not. And it was Billy. Yeah. Do we need to relitigate that battle?
We do not.
Cool. Man.
My Rust, I've got 2.
A battle royale.
The New England Patriots. They get a rust. They've lost 2 in a row. It's the first time in 21 games. They lost at home. Wow. And I hate to say it. I really do. But Tom Brady is starting to look like Peyton Manning did that final year. He started off the year so good, and then, did you see toward the end of the game when they were trying to come back
a little bit the last year?
Yeah,
when it goes.
Did you see him run? He ran for a first down and he slid and he got up and he did
very animated.
I'm a man. He was animated. That was cool. But did you just seriously? I hate to say this. It reminded me of Willie Mays, who might have been the most beautiful baseball player of all time.
The 73
to watch
World Series.
with his movement. Seriously, his movement.
It was sad.
As a Met, he looked like an old man.
Couldn't get out of
and
batter's
the way
box,
that
remember?
Brady ran. The way Brady ran on that last play, even though he did get the first down, didn't he look old to you?
You know, Willie Mays, and I remember that World Series well, and it was sad to see the 42-year-old aging Willie Mays look like that. He ended up hitting 280-something for that series. But he just couldn't run.
I guarantee he didn't have any stolen bases.
No, he just couldn't run.
No, my final rust goes to poor UC, Cincinnati. On Saturday, they blew 4 leads to lose 2 weeks in a row and lose the chance to go to the Cotton Bowl to the Tigers. At the same time, their basketball team was losing to their crosstown rival, Xavier, 73-66. It was a bad Saturday for Cincinnati.
A couple of quick rush. One to Carolina Panthers. They've quit. Coach fired. They
quit after he got fired,
They quit after he got fired. They got doubled up by a really bad Falcons team. Totally new fresh start in Charlotte starting next year. Also a rush to the Baseball Hall of Fame. It's about time for Marvin Miller.
Yep.
Truly a revolutionary.
95 years old. They had all those years to get him in. What, he died 12 years ago?
Yeah,
7 years?
Just
I think it was 7 years ago.
Should have been in forever. One of the real revolutionaries of the game. And every player on payday should send a thank you note to.
I'm glad you nailed them, including the guy that got in today.
And Ted Simmons.
He was a beneficiary of Marvin Miller's work.
But Russ also, it's time for Dale Murphy to be in. Dale Murphy should be in Baseball's Hall of Fame. My final Russ goes to, in a 14-10 game Saturday before halftime, that level of booing against this team, I couldn't believe my ears. That was rough.
Tiger fans were tough.
I thought, gee whiz, it's a higher bar here than at Bama.
You know what they say, don't you? It's to motivate, to make them respond. I've heard a couple of guys that booed say that. Oh, wow. We did that early in Brady White's tenure to make him a better player. We toughened him up.
All's well that ends well, though.
That is for sure. And those are your top. Those are your medals, the good ones, and the rusty ones as well. This portion of the show brought to you by a gold medal place that is offering you the best way to do Christmas. You know I'm talking about the commissary, where the 24-hour bird and the hams are going to be flying out the window. 36-hour bird, excuse me, I forget. 36-hour bird, and it is so good. That part I haven't forgotten. The taste of that turkey, to me, it's the best. And you can have it at Christmas. All you got to do is get a hold of the commissary, either place. I got a very nice little text from Walker Taylor a little while ago, and he was talking about the SEC and all the bowl games they're in. He did point out they're not playing one group of 5 school. Every bowl game they play is against only Power 5s. I think they're the only league that is the case. Interesting. for sure. What is also interesting is while he observes all that, he now has 2 unbelievable barbecue restaurants. The commissaries are, we know, we just love them. We love the ribs. We love the deviled eggs. We love the iced lemon pie. We love this new place that's triple the size that has a drive-through. That's the Collierville Commissary. All you got to do is go right through. Or if you want to park, there's a lot of that. If you want space in there, they got little private rooms. They got a patio. They got wine. They got beer. They got it all. It's the place to go. And, of course, if you want your holiday to be special and you don't want to do all the work, I promise you it's the best turkey you'll ever have. The 36-hour bird or the ham, all for the taking. Just get a hold of the commissary. Back in a minute, hour number 2, right around the corner. Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
It may not be stomach issues.
For me, it's intense gas, or pain, or diarrhea, sometimes all at once, over and over.
I spent years with the symptoms, but could never figure it out.
No matter what I did, they never went away. So I decided to break it down for my doctor and get really specific about my symptoms.
We discovered that exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, may be the reason for my stomach issues.
EPI is caused by my pancreas. It leads to diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools. The symptoms just don't go away.
But EPI can show up with even one symptom.
The good news? EPI is manageable.
But to get to the right diagnosis, you have to break it down for your doctor and get specific about the severity of your symptoms.
Visit identifyepi.com to learn more and use the symptom checker to help change the conversation with your doctor. Brought to you by AbbVie.
There's a new commissary in town in Collierville. Germantown Commissary is doubling. Yeah, they're still going to have the old Germantown Commissary by the tracks, but now there's a huge new Germantown Commissary in Collierville at Poplar and Houston Levee Road. It's huge, too. There's a drive-through. There's plenty of parking. No telephone pole to get in your way. A cool patio. It's right by the track, so the tradition continues. And this is a tradition that's been around forever. That commissary is famous for hickory-smoked, slow-cooked Memphis-style barbecue. They've got a private party room at the new one in Collierville. Self-catering still continues. Party packs for $5.95. Basically, the great ribs, the great pulled shoulder, the great deviled eggs. Everything is there in Collierville and Germantown now. So there is now a Germantown and Collierville style of barbecue. It's called Germantown Commissary.
It's that time of year. Come join us at Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, Thursday, December 12th, all day, 7 to 6. We're raising money and, most importantly, bringing toys for Mid-South Toys for Tots. Help the boys and girls of the Mid-South have a happy holiday. You can do it. Bring those new unwrapped toys, checks, cash. Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, Thursday, December 12th, 7 to 6. Sponsored by Envy Nail Bar, Gateway Tire, David C. Nanny CPA in Hempville, South Haven, and Oxford.
Hi, I'm Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. If you need a roof for your home or business, we hope to hear from you and we will work hard to earn your business. We are experts and certified in residential and commercial roofing, siding, and gutter installation. We have been serving the Memphis area for over 20 years, and now with 2 of my sons working with me, we plan to be here for many years to come. So if you need a roof, please give us a call. On a personal note, what a great time to be a Memphis sports fan. With the Grizzlies' new look, the Redbirds, the 901 FC, and the Tigers football and basketball teams, it's going to be a fun year. Thank you to Coach Norvell, Coach Hardaway, and their staffs for your dedication to your student athletes, the University of Memphis, and to fans like me who have waited forever to have both the football and basketball teams ranked at the same time. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also keep up to date with everything going on by keeping up with Sports 56 on social media. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch for information on breaking news, chances to win prizes, and video of all the shows. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Stay in touch with Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 on social media. We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Welcome back in, Wolo and Stats with you. Hour number 2 on this fantastic Monday, this portion of the show, and really this hour brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai in Olive Branch, and the home of Genesis of Olive Branch, and they've got more and more Genesis cars coming in. There's G90s now. There's the G70 I used to talk about. I fell in love with those G cars looking at that G70 and driving that G70, and then I wound up with a G90. I mean, come on.
You roll into Dallas in it?
I might. I just might do that. They'll clear the highway for me if I do that.
From Arkadelphia on.
They see that car coming down the road. They go, whoa, let's get out of the way. This is technology.
You'll go right through a place called Hope on I-30.
Yeah. Well, that's a famous place now, right? There's a guy born there that
made it famous.
Something good happened to him along the way. And something good happens to me every day getting that G90. Seriously, the thing about the technology of that car, and I think it's the best luxury car that there is right now, but the Hyundais are spectacular too. And, of course, the Genesis, the Hyundai, you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty on every new car on the lot. That's how much they believe in that technology, and then I believe in the service. They've even got the shopper assurance. Ask about that. The bottom line is this is the perfect marriage between that new technology and the warranty you get and the service that you get at Homer. Find out for yourself. Get on Lamar, first exit Mississippi's Craft Road, turn left, you're there. Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch. Yesterday was a very nice press conference. Laird Veach said, hey, I'm telling you guys what we're doing. We're going to go through this search, but I'm going dark. I'm not talking after that. But if you want to know about the Cotton Bowl, our Cotton Bowl expert is Jeff Crane. And Jeff joins us now.
Hey,
he
Jeff.
knows everything Cotton Bowl. So let me ask you this right off the bat. I know the school had to buy, that's part of the deal, 13,000 tickets. And for every ticket you don't sell, you're still responsible for that ticket. So part of the message I know you have today is this. So listen out there, folks. If you're going to buy tickets, don't buy them from StubHub. Buy them from the university because that's where the money is really needed. And Jeff Crane, I heard you on television last night say, you got the best tickets anyway.
We really do. We've got and it's terrific. It's a real testament to the Cotton Bowl and the type of hospitality and experience they want our fans to have. They make sure we have the best tickets. So we have club seats. We have nice 200 level seats, and we even have the upper level seats for those folks that are looking for that. So they've given us all options, and it's critical that our fans buy through our ticket office because that does benefit the university directly. When they buy from us. And also in the Cotton Bowl has actually put a kind of a warning out today because there are a lot of secondary markets out there that are not credible. And so our fans can know that if they're buying Cotton Bowl tickets and they buy them from the University of Memphis Athletics ticket office, they will have a ticket that will work, and they'll be sitting with all Memphis Tiger fans. So our phones have been ringing and our lines have been long, and we're still anticipating more sales throughout this week and next.
So Jeff, you have a price point really for every appetite, from the more expensive to the least expensive.
That's exactly right. You can buy a $300 club seat, or you can buy a $100 upper level seat, and there's one in between there. And to be honest, there's not a bad seat in there. It's almost worth the money just to go in and see AT&T Stadium. If y'all haven't ever seen it, it is a sight to behold. So it's just going to be a terrific experience, and the whole pageantry of a Cotton Bowl. I have not ever had the opportunity to be at one myself, but I've talked to enough people that have. That it's really once in a lifetime to be able to go to a Cotton Bowl. Period, but But be able to see your Memphis Tigers playing it, gosh, I mean, just people don't want to miss this one.
Jeff, I was looking at Dave's itinerary, and I've had the privilege, the good fortune to go to 3, and it was 3 years in a row. It was 2007, 8, and 9. 3 years in a row I got to go, and nobody. And we have a great hometown bowl here in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, and what the good folks at the Sugar Bowl, and a lot of the bowls really do try hard. Cotton Bowl's the best, and everybody recognizes it as that, and the treatment. This itinerary of events for fans and the official party, it is second to none.
No doubt about it. I mean, they go above and beyond in everything they do, and they've built their brand around that. I mean, their Battle of the Bands event that they have is known throughout the country, and so we're going to be sending some information out on that in the coming days, and we're going to have a big Memphis Tiger event that night around the Battle of the Bands event. So we're going to be putting on lots of fun things for folks to do in addition to the Cotton Bowl event. So we think it's a good 2-3 day trip, and you'll be filled with lots of fun things to do while you're there.
Their gala thing, their Denim and Diamonds Bash. It's featuring Miranda Lambert.
Yeah, the big kickoff luncheon. I think Brad Sham always MCs that, Dave. And one year I was there, and he was the president of the Cotton Bowl Association, and the MC, excuse me, and was calling the game on radio. So very, very busy that year. At halftime, the Kilgore College Rangerettes, they've performed in 69 Cotton Bowls. You get to see that, Jeff, and for the Tigers to be linked now basically for the next month with Penn State, one of the more brand names out there. I mean, I don't know how many college football superpowers you have to rattle off before you don't get to Penn State to be linked with them, because the Tigers have earned this.
No doubt about it. I mean, what an incredible opportunity. And I had the good fortune of being with our football team on Sunday morning and afternoon, and to see the smiles on their faces and the excitement when we had a meeting after the Cotton Bowl was announced, and how excited they are to be able to play Penn State. I mean, what an incredible opportunity for those young men, and really it's an opportunity for us to show the country, just like we did against SMU, just like we did on game day on Beale Street, that the Memphis Tigers are for real. So I mean, we need a sea of blue in Dallas on the 28th. This is important as we try to take another step into building this program.
It's needed financially too, and that's why we're saying, do get your tickets, because they'll be the better tickets anyway, through the university, at least until they sold the 13,000. After that, Jeff, could you explain the economics of this? Because the payout for the Cotton Bowl is a whole lot better than any of the affiliated American Athletic Conference bowls. But I believe that goes to the conference office. Are there double or triple shares? How does the financial breakdown of this bowl work?
We work with the American Athletic Conference to first and foremost cover the expenses of the bowl game, which, as you can imagine, we'll be moving probably between the band, cheerleaders, football team, staff, etc., 600 plus people to Dallas for some of them as long as 6 days. So you can imagine the expense in doing that. So we work with the conference to make sure that our expenses are covered through the payout, and then whatever tickets we sell beyond that becomes the university's dollars that can be spent on things to improve the university. So that's why it's so important, because those extra dollars, the opportunity to keep those dollars for tickets that are sold is a huge opportunity to help us better our football program and better really our entire sports program and the university.
Speaking of exposure and good stuff for the university, it has been brought to my attention this long-awaited, uninterrupted The Harder Way, I guess is what it's called, a new series following the Tiger basketball team from ESPN Plus is coming out tonight at 11 o'clock. Have you seen any of this, Jeff?
I have. I've had the opportunity to watch it, and spectacular. It truly blew us away, and I think the whole country again will have the opportunity to get a glimpse of our program and get a glimpse really of who Coach Hardaway is and who our student athletes are. They've really tried to take a different angle with this. It's not just about basketball, but it's about life, and it's about how you go about doing your business, and it's very, very well done.
Just
very
a lot,
well done.
Just a lot of momentum right now in the athletics department, isn't it?
We do. We're so fortunate to be in this position, and so many people have worked a long time for this university. And Laird and I just feel like we just walked in on third base. So we're just as excited as can be to be here, and thankful for that opportunity to be here. And the future is very, very bright.
Last thing with Jeff Crane, the Deputy Athletic Director of the University of Memphis. Jeff, how do they get those tickets? What's the number? They go GoTigersGo.com, or can they come to the ticket office, or is there a number?
The best thing they can do is go to our website, GoTigersGo.com. They can also go to GoTigersTix.com, and they can purchase those bowl tickets. They're available right away. We even have parking that if you don't want to mess with parking at the Cotton Bowl, we have parking available for you to buy as well right here through our ticket office. So we're trying to make it easy. There are also some travel packages, by the way. If you want to stay at the team hotel, you can go to GoTigersTravel.com, and you can stay at the team hotel, and that's will be a great opportunity to interact with our team as they stay at one of the best hotels in Dallas. Jeff couldn't
thank you.
Is there a deadline? Is there a cutoff date for your going through the university, Jeff?
You know what? We've not for those that want priority on the very best seats that we have. We're asking that they call by tomorrow, but we will still have tickets available after that. And our travel packages are selling well, but we feel like probably by the end of the week, folks will want to have those hotels booked.
Yeah, absolutely. This thing is, what is today? The 10th already?
No, it is.
No, the 9th, and the game's on the 22nd.
I've lost track of it.
Yeah.
So we're talking less than 2 weeks is the game.
Game on the 28th.
Oh, 28th. Yeah. So I'm thinking the 20th. I don't know why I think the 22nd. 28th. So sometime, but not that much time.
That's right. Time's running out. We gotta have lots of Tiger blue in Dallas. There's going to be a lot of blue in Dallas. We just want to make sure it's the right color.
That's right. Thank you, Jeff. There will be Penn State Nittany Lion blue. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you having me.
You got
Our pleasure. That is Jeff Crane, and that'll be a fun show. The 13,000. I think that'll be easy.
Penn State's played in 3 previous Cotton Bowls. They tied. Excuse me. They tied the first time they played in the Cotton Bowl. They tied SMU, and then they won 2 in the 70s. They demolished Texas in the early 70s, and then they demolished Baylor in the mid-70s, and Memphis being the 50th different team all time to be in a Cotton Bowl. So good round number for that.
What'd you say? 50th? After their 500th one. There's the win. There's a lot of symmetry there.
A lot of symmetry there. Unlike in our football picks, I got them out. Dave, you went 6-7.
Oh, 6-7. Okay.
I went 5-8. Drew, you have a game going tonight with the Giants. You went 2-4 in college, and you're currently 3-3 in pros.
This is almost over. This is almost over.
But there aren't many games left. We got a lot of bowl games to pick.
We do.
So a lot of
just so people think I'm not crazy, the line that is used by the commercial appeal had the opening line at 7, and Memphis yesterday was a 9-point underdog. Just take a look, so people, because I was taken to task
that means nothing.
Text
in
line.
The newspaper. Call them up and see if they'll take your bet.
I hope not. They don't have enough people.
That was probably printed at 2 o'clock yesterday.
I'm sure it was. The way this whole thing has gone down, we'd like a little feedback from you. If you'd like to get in really quick, 360-8255 on the First Bank phone line. One, we haven't talked about Lane Kiffin. Really, we talked a little bit about it on Friday. Now we know he's definitely
We started the show with it.
A
lot of people claiming 2 hours later of breaking news about Lane Kiffin, and we got the tape.
We did. We started it with
whatever, but we didn't
the train.
But we didn't do it with the hot take artistry some can do it with.
We did it with the train. That's how we did it. But I would have to think the vast majority of Ole Miss fans are ecstatic.
Vast majority.
I would love to hear from those that are Arkansas fans about Sam Pittman. We did have a couple of texters. One, and this is accurate. It said Norvell wasn't the first, second, or third. I think he was the third, but I don't believe he was the first or the second choice. And the guy goes, I live amongst their fans. They aren't ecstatic, and he goes, ... yet. And I think that's true. I think if you looked at message boards, because they felt like he was another Willie Taggart because of coming from the American and a
what are you
group
looking
of
at
five.
message boards for? Y'all might as well be looking at the lines in the newspaper as a message board.
I'm just telling you, that's what the sense was from those that are fanatics around the Seminoles program, that they're going to love him in the long run.
Everybody, you got to win. All these guys getting named new coaches,
right? And
if you don't win, they're going to miss you.
There is no question about that. And then the third, if you want to chip in this short period of time we open the phones up, who would you like to see Memphis go? What direction would you like to go? I think they should check everybody out, but at this moment, I'm pretty darn sold on Ryan Silverfield.
I am too,
for a lot of different reasons.
What do you think the temperature out there is about Barry Odom?
I would think that is a torn group. I think people liked Barry Odom when he was here. I think the university liked Barry Odom enough that they offered him the job before Norvell got it. And Barry sort of accepted that job. And if you hadn't heard the story yet, they went to the Tiger bookstore. They bought a bunch of T-shirts. They went back on the team president's airplane to get his wife and kids, put him in those said T-shirts. And when they landed in Columbia, the AD at Missouri came out and basically said, Barry, don't do this. We will hire you as our head coach, even after he had agreed to a deal with the University of Memphis. And so Mark Allnut was the guy that was on that plane with them. And Mark Allnut came back alone with a bunch of T-shirts that were for the kids and his wife, and Barry got the job at Missouri. It's hard, I think, to hire a guy who told you yes and then said no.
And to the texter said whether he was or wasn't the first choice at FSU, I think there was a time that FSU probably had either the Stoops dancing through their heads, maybe Urban Meyer dancing through their heads, but he was enough of their choice that it's now being printed by a very credible person and source that during the Tigers' open date, and that was their last open date was the game the week after the SMU game, that they came up here and met with Norvell that week. It's being reported that that was the first really gauging and...
So which week again now?
After the SMU game, the open date into the next week, that they really vetted him that week.
It's funny, those games, there's no question in my mind, and I think if you ask Justin Fuente now, he would say yes. Justin Fuente got the Virginia Tech job the day that Memphis beat Ole Miss. There's no question in my mind about that. Paxton Lynch had that great game. And that was when they came after him, and that is when Fuente really made the deal. And, he still coached hard. There's no question, but he was a little different. So the SMU moment makes sense to me.
And Mike Norvell coached hard through the tape.
Oh, there's no question.
Now, has it been decided whether he will coach the bowl game or not?
Well, this is an interesting dilemma. And somebody texts us asking us if that's the case, or will it hurt Memphis if he doesn't? Well, based on what he's done, you'd have to say, well, you don't know, but yeah, I mean, can't help. Certainly love to have the guy who just called 12 wins, wouldn't you? So he's not going to be involved in the preparation, right? Do you let the coaches who are here, and again, that's the other area that we're going to find out here in the next few days, who is going with him? I'm assuming Kevin Johns is not going with him because we now know Kenny Dillingham's going to be his OC, right? So Kenny's saying goodbye to Gus, and he's on his way to Tallahassee. We know that's one guy. I don't know if Adam Fuller's going to be around. Is he going to be the DC for him? So those things...
And you don't know that if FSU will let him.
Those things have to be decided.
They might want company time to be spent on the new company.
Well, that's true. But I thought it was pretty much Norvell's going to make the decision. He's got to recruit for them, and then if he can squeeze in the game, he'll do it.
It's just hardly done anymore. Western Michigan let P.J. Fleck, and Central Florida let Scott Frost, and years ago Washington State allowed Mike Price to do it before he went to Bama, where he subsequently went 0-0.
Somebody else was in there that did it.
It's just
did
not
Tom Herman do it at Houston?
I can't remember if Tom Herman did it.
I can't remember. That's a likely suspect.
Yeah.
But I can't remember, Drew. In the Peach Bowl against FSU.
Yeah.
It's just not done anymore. It used to be done almost every time.
Well,
it was rare when they did leave.
I know.
In fact, Charlie Pell was one of the first that I remember leaving Clemson at bowl time to take the Florida job, and Danny Ford in his first game coached his very first game, and that ended up being Woody Hayes' last game.
Brett, the difference is there wasn't an early signing period then. There's a signing period for...
It was 40 years ago, too.
These coaches, there's a signing period in 2 weeks where they've got to get talent. And
it's just hardly done, and I understand it.
And I guess the question, and Joe, I'll get to you before we take the break. We're falling behind. But the question would be, is it fair to the coaching staff that stays and does all the prep for this bowl game to then say, okay, come on in and do it? Although it was Mike.
I don't think so.
It was Mike who got him here. That's the truth of the matter. Joe, real quick, your turn.
Hey, Joe.
On the coaching search.
Yeah. I was just going to compare it. Let's just say Silverfield goes out and they lose 49-17 to Penn State. Historically, you might think that you're going to lose some momentum that way, but I remember a couple of years ago, Cristobal got crushed by Boise State. I remember Sonny Dykes weirdly got hired and decided to coach the bowl game despite, just being named head coach.
Yeah.
And they got smacked around by La Tech and Skip Holt. And those two guys have actually bounced back and done really well. It's not necessarily an indicator. Then you had, to the post-Herman point, I want to say the first year was the New Year's Six. Second year was when we beat them at the end of the season. He goes to Texas. I want to say Major Applewhite coached the bowl game, and they got rocked maybe by San Diego State. You'd have to look that up. I'm not sure.
Well, you can look at it, too.
I think
you got the internet.
I think that's right.
And David Cutcliffe took the Ole Miss job and went to the bowl game and started 1-0, and it was a wave of momentum out of that.
Right. So, with Silverfield, given the early signing period, if you go ahead and hire him sooner than later, you do keep momentum in recruiting. You got a guy in-house that they already love. You want to make the best hire.
Well, let's face it. The last time it happened here, Fuente left. He did not coach in the game. Darrell Dickey was the interim. He coached, and Mike Norvell watched the game from the radio press box right behind me. I remember that like it was yesterday, and then he kept Darrell Dickey.
Bobby Petrino did the very same thing. He watched the Arkansas bowl game from a box while Reggie Herring was interim coach and Houston Nutt was already in Oxford.
This portion of the show is brought to you by the Spirit Shop. Okay, it's Monday. We had so much to celebrate this week. You're out. I know you are. Don't worry. The Spirit Shop is always there to save the day. 4848 Poplar in St. Nick. It's that little log cabin. You've seen it a million times. It is the place to go if you would like an education about spirits. That could be wine. It could be bourbon. It could be tequila. It could be vodka. It could be the new cocktails in a can. It could be accessories. The one thing for sure is they got it all. If they don't, they find it for you. They literally will call up wherever they need to. It could be a winery in Washington, for instance, and they'll try to find the product that you are looking for. Go meet the Connor family. Eddie's the dad. His daughter is there all the time, too. Just go in. If you're looking for a bargain, they'll tell you what's hot, what's new. You'll love it. If you're looking for the classics, they'll direct you in that direction, too. That's the Spirit Shop at Poplar and St. Nick. Back in a minute. We are right back with our coach, John Thompson in Atlanta. We'll set up the playoffs for you in a minute on Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
Get happy with Johnny Radio's Happy Hour. Weekday afternoons from 1 till 3 on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
So I just checked, and yes, we can still have our holiday events right here at Sweetgrass.
I am so glad to hear that. I was wondering that since they merged Sweetgrass with Nextdoor, they might not be doing holiday parties.
Well, they sure are. We can still book our holiday parties for family and friends right here at Sweetgrass, where we always do.
And I'm going to keep right on having our office holiday party here, too.
You can still get special attention and have a special event right here at Sweetgrass.
And everyone will be able to see the games they want for once and won't be checking the scores on their phones. Sweetgrass is even better than before.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
It may not be stomach issues.
For me, it's intense gas, or pain, or diarrhea, sometimes all at once, over and over.
I spent years with the symptoms, but could never figure it out.
No matter what I did, they never went away. So I decided to break it down for my doctor and get really specific about my symptoms.
We discovered that exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, may be the reason for my stomach issues.
EPI is caused by my pancreas. It leads to diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools. The symptoms just don't go away.
But EPI can show up with even one symptom.
The good news? EPI is manageable.
But to get to the right diagnosis, you have to break it down for your doctor and get specific about the severity of your symptoms.
Visit identifyepi.com to learn more and use the symptom checker to help change the conversation with your doctor. Brought to you by AbbVie.
At First Bank Mortgage, their core purpose is to help you get to a better place. That better place may be a lower monthly payment, that vacation you thought was impossible, or getting into a home with a fenced backyard where your kids can play. To get into your better place, First Bank Mortgage makes decisions right here at home. Dedicated to helping you get to your better place, First Bank Mortgage. Call Daniel Mooney at 901-462-0145 today. NMLS 741022. Equal Housing Lender. You know it's better to give than receive, right? When you donate a gift at All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch, you can receive a free lunch this Friday beginning at 11 a.m. Just bring a toy to All-Star Chevy for the kids at Winchester Elementary this Friday beginning at 11 a.m. There are also free prizes, and Greg and Eli from Sports 56 will be broadcasting live from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. While you're there, check out the new Silverado Traverses and the all-new Chevy Blazer. And if you buy one, you could save thousands paying what the employees pay. So come on out this Friday for free lunch and prizes, and bring a toy to donate to Winchester Elementary from All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch and Sports 56.
Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Welcome back in.
And they'll give you a notebook.
Brett is telling me all the virtues of going to the Cotton Bowl.
Love the Cotton Bowl.
I did go to one, but it was at the Cotton Bowl. It was not at Jerry's World. It'll be the first time I see Jerry's World. And we've just been
jaw-dropping,
chewing the fat. There's so many good
so
texts,
happy
and we do appreciate the texts.
You know, I don't think the bowl game that's been played the last few years at Cotton Bowl Stadium is being played there this year. I think it's being played at Gerald Ford Stadium on the campus of SMU.
I think you're right. I saw that there is a bowl game at that place. They probably did move it. I don't know why.
I don't either, because the old gal looks better than she's ever looked at the Cotton
Bowl.
I would
agree.
Oh, man, I was in the Cotton Bowl for a Rolling Stones concert early 80s, and I thought it was going to fall down around me. it was in such
well,
disrepair.
The worst
it's
one
great now.
of those that is in total disrepair is where Cincinnati is going to play Boston College, and that's the Birmingham Bowl. That old gal.
That does disrepair.
That old
An
gal.
Old gal, a bad name calling him that.
Is really in bad shape.
He's a real old gal.
A texter on the First Bank text line 67129. Do not want Barry Odom. We need an offensive-minded coach. Chip Long or Ryan Silverfield. Chip Long, obviously, the offensive coordinator at Notre Dame, and I know for a fact he wants the job. That would be okay. I'm pretty well sold on Ryan Silverfield. I would listen to Chip Long. I think he should be interviewed. I'm in agreement about Barry Odom. I told you already he once had the job, turned it down. That's a mark against him. But I think he makes a good point.
He does.
I think in this league, in the American,
times.
need an offensive coach as opposed to a defensive coach. No offense to our friend
our next
John
guest.
Thompson, our coach.
It's tough out there on defensive guys now.
Offense taken. Go ahead, though.
But I'm sorry, John, but man, it's not fun being a defensive coach on game day with these rules, and it's tough to get a start as a head coach as a defensive guy now. It's rough.
Well, you just got to get a guy that's best for the program, and I was saying that, just kind of getting on my man Dave a little bit. And the Cotton Bowl is awesome, and it is a great bowl game. And one of the most favorite games I ever was able to be involved in. We played Oklahoma there one year. And Oklahoma, maybe like Penn State, does not really want to be there. Oklahoma beat us 10-3 in a tremendous offensive showing by the Hogs. But
that was the day you had ballots in the air and rushing, didn't you?
54 apiece, I think. Wasn't that what it was?
Yeah.
I know you know.
Yeah.
Was it 54 yards rushing?
Man,
your defense held them to 10.
I'm just going to say, you only gave up 10 points and lost. Yeah. It ain't on you, buddy.
And if Carlos Hall, a guy from Mariana, we pick up a fumble, we call it a fumble, and he scoops it up and trips on Tony Bua, we would have tied the game. Now, that was almost 20 years ago. It's probably 18 years ago. Not that I remember that correctly, but there's a lot of similarities going in this. Memphis, it's going to be fun. So anyway, yeah, I do take a little offense to if you're a good coach. I mean, Barry Odom, come on, man, he can get it done. Whether he's got a defensive background or an offensive background, he has been a head coach. He knows what he's doing, and I'm not touting Barry for the job. I'm just kind of throwing some shade at you, my man.
I hear you. I hear you.
We can start.
Well, look, I'm cheering for an offensive line coach, just the way Arkansas fans are now.
What do you think of that hire, John? Sam Pittman, new Razorback coach.
You know what? I think that that's the and it's a unique situation in Arkansas in that you got to unify that state, and that's a big thing for that state, and I think that does a tremendous job in unifying the state. I think some other candidates they couldn't check all the boxes, and besides being an offensive line coach, besides being a down the line probably guy that was offered the job, I think they hit a home run. I really do, and I think this is the kind of guy that's a nut and bolts coach that will get the job done, and it's going to take a while, and I think that they know that it's going to take a while, and I think it's a really, really good hire.
How long is fair? Let's face it.
Oh,
Chad Morris had only 2 years, and that's not very patient.
Yeah.
That's not a long time, and Bielema didn't leave him in great shape.
No, I understand that. And I can speak from experience that 2 years is not enough. Mm-hmm. And when you have a new AD that comes in and that happens, no, it's going to take. It may take a little longer than that. They've got a lot of issues, and he'll do a great job recruiting. Obviously, that's what he's known for. But he's going to need. He's just going to need progress. I mean, there hasn't been much of that on the field, off the field, and he is revered, obviously, as a recruiter. And the decline of Arkansas football, and I really look at this and I notice this, and I've said it. I think I've said it on this show that can be traced back to when he left. That the line of scrimmage game, the line of scrimmage game that has to be won in the SEC and in every football game can be traced back to when he left. And I think he'll bring an essence of toughness. I think he'll bring an essence of, not being. He's a real guy, a real coach, a guy that is not going to, he's not going to win the press conference. He'll do it with coaching and recruiting. And that doesn't happen in an awful lot of places. There's a lot of. Go ahead.
He was instrumental in getting Dan Skipper, Denver Kirkland. He was instrumental in getting the good running back that had such a good game here against Kansas State that made it to the pros from South Florida. Gosh, I can't remember his name. But he was instrumental in getting a lot of those players that showed some hope for Bielema. When he left, it was turned off. That was the end of it.
Yeah. Well, I keep saying the same. He's a real guy, and he's a real coach. It's his heart and soul into it, and it's not going to be about the flash. It's not going to be about what he does, in his slogans or whatever he does. I know he's got the yes sir thing, yeah. But all that, but it's. I think the players. I really think the players will believe in him and buy into him, and the state of Arkansas will if he just shows progress. That's all. I mean, the state is hungry for that. The state, and to see where a team gets better. And I'm excited as an Arkansan. I'm happy for the state and the program, and happy for him.
Assess the Mizzou hire of Eli Drinkwitz and the Ole Miss hire of Lane Kiffin.
All right, I'll start with Lane. He's going to be entertaining. He'll be very entertaining. He'll be very confident. If you watch, I'm sure you guys did. You watched his press conference today. He's exceptionally media savvy. He'll do a great job recruiting. I think his agent did a great job, and he'll score some points and he'll win some games. Hey, I just got to ask you this. When I saw him, does he have a little tint in his hair? Did he put a little tint in it, or is that just Florida?
I think Florida freshened it up a little bit.
Okay.
You get
that in there.
He's 44 years old. That is chemicals.
But sometimes the chlorine gets in there.
Maybe that's it.
I tell you what's in mine. That's what's in mine, John.
Okay. Just saying that, and I think that it's going to be an issue for Joe Moorhead. I think that Joe's got that puts a little bit of pressure on Joe. But you look at their schedule. You look at Ole Miss's schedule. They got 5 wins on there. They need to get 2 more, and I think that's going to be that's how he's going to be judged. If they should get 5, but I don't know about the other 2, and I think that's where it's going to be judged. Who was the other?
Drinkwitz.
Eli
Drinkwitz.
Eli at Missouri. I think that's a very smart move by Eli. I'm not sure what happened to him at Arkansas, but Eli and I were together at Arkansas State. Really smart guy. Has done a really good job. He'll take care of business. He'll do all the right things. I think he's he's jumping into the deep end in that situation right there, and he's got to just get those players believing in him. He had a lot of guys coming back. Didn't have a quarterback coming back at App, and had a really good situation. But I think it's a great move for Eli, and I hope it's a really, really good move for Missouri. I'm happy for him, and we'll see what happens on that one.
Why do you think Missouri gave up on Berry?
I think they built a lot of facilities, and I don't think they were selling enough tickets. I think that's the two biggest reasons, and that's really sad. Instead of looking at the football team and looking how they were playing and looking at what was going on internally with the football squad, I think it was all about excitement and sizzle, and they wanted to get a new guy in there to sell tickets and to pay for facilities. That's just me. I think that's where we are in college football in a lot of ways. When you look at when you have to look at ticket sales and you have to look at what you got to do to build to keep up with the Joneses, I think the head coach gets in a situation where he's the guy that makes the change, and I think it's a tough deal. I think it's real tough, and I think that was a real tough deal for Barry Odom. And I don't know Barry, but I think he's a heck of a coach.
The best job that ended up being open, because Washington was filled internally, was Florida State, and that went to Mike. What do you think about that hiring of Norvell?
I think it was a great hire. I think he did, he took over a program, Dave, that Justin Fuente did an excellent job. And I say that from coaching against him back-to-back years. They were so much better their second year than he was his first year. And it was coaching. We beat them when I was at Arkansas State. We beat them the first year, and it was a little bit of a challenge. The second year, they outcoached us. I mean, they were better than us in coaching. And I'm embarrassed to say that, but that's one of the games that will forever go back and haunt me, because I see some things that he got me on. I think Florida State did an excellent job by hiring Mike in that he did a great job at Memphis. I mean, he took a program, and with everybody that's listening here knows the history, but he's made that job very appealing nationally to whatever happens, whether it's Odom that we talked about, or Chip Long, or Joe Brady, Bill Clark,
Ryan
Lanning,
Silverfield.
Ryan Silverfield, that's a guy that it could be him, obviously, and he may be the best guy, but there's so many. That's an attractive job, and for years it was like, man, can you do it? Can you get it done? Can you get it done? So I think Mike did a great job, and I think he will do I think he'll do a great job at Florida State.
John, would you be surprised if I told you after 55 games at Georgia, and I love Kirby Smart, his record is 43-12. After his first 55 games at Georgia, Mark Richt was 2 better at 45-10.
No, I have seen that living here in Atlanta. I have seen those numbers before, and and there was, Kirby can't be Mark Richt 2.0. I mean, and I'm stealing that from, I saw it somewhere.
It's not what they signed up for.
That. No, it's not at all. And Kirby has some old school in him, and he's got to cut it loose and let it flow. Jake Fromm, I've tried to tout Jake Fromm all year long. He did not play better this year. He did absolutely not. And I thought he would play well, and really he did not in the championship game. He has regressed, and he's not playing as well. And I don't know why that is. Maybe it's the pressure that he put on himself, because I'll say this, all pressure is self-applied, but maybe when he didn't have the receivers, he felt like he was like the baseball pitcher that was trying to aim the ball, and he just did not play as well. Now, Kirby ran into a buzzsaw when he ran into LSU. That's really a fabulous team. They got a little bit of everything going on. I mean, exceptionally, all across the board. Their defense has taken shots because all you can do is brag on their offense, but their defense is really good too. they got some studs over there. Getting Dilpit back and playing there, so they're that's a tough time. They've been, Mark Richt went against Alabama when they were all good. Now Kirby's having to go against LSU.
I don't think anybody is surprised that LSU was the number 1 seed. They passed Ohio State. Ohio State's the number 2 seed, yet Clemson is the favorite in that semifinal, which is truly the more intriguing of the semifinals. Why do you think that is? Everybody says Ohio State is the most complete team.
Yeah, they're dangerous. They're really dangerous. I mean, Ohio State's got a great offensive line. Obviously, their quarterback's playing well. Big time running back, dominant defense. But, Clemson has just been ever in the back of everybody's mind. I think Clemson is the second best team in the country. I think LSU's the best. If I was on that committee, which I really hadn't checked today, but before today, I hadn't gotten any calls for them to ask me about that. But
you would put the Tigers in over Oklahoma. I know that.
I would. I would have the Memphis Tigers.
Yeah.
Or the yeah, absolutely. But they made adjustments on that team. I mean, Venables is playing them a lot more 3-man front. He's a lot more 3-3-5. Trevor Lawrence has had a better year than he had a year ago. ETN is fabulous. The wide receivers that they have, unbelievable. I just think that Clemson, nobody wants to play Clemson. What does that say? That tells you that Clemson is really, really good. LSU and Clemson, in my opinion, are the 2 best, and Ohio State could be. Then you draw the line. Oklahoma's in there, and that just happened because they came back and they beat Baylor and everything else happened. But the top 3 teams, I mean, Ohio State, Clemson, and so that's and LSU obviously, but Clemson is very, very good, my man.
No doubt. We'll maybe Memphis will have a coach next week, and we'll break down some of these bowl games too. Thank you, John. We appreciate it.
Thank you, fellas. I hope y'all guys are doing good. Hope you get a good coach. I know you will, because you know what? He's made Mike Norvell, from the cradle of coaches at UCA, has made it a very appealing job.
He has.
That is true.
Thank you, John.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Take care, guys.
You got it. Bye.
This portion of the show brought to you by Supercuts. You want to look good? You go to Supercuts. You know why? Because you feel good. Why? Because you always look good every time you walk out of Supercuts, no matter what kind of haircut you're looking for, no matter what kind of age you are. You could be in my realm. You could be in Drew's. They know. The hairdressers, it's their business. They know the details. They matter at Supercuts. And, of course, every cut ends with the hot towel finish. You walk out invigorated, and you walk out relaxed all at the same time. I don't know how it works, but it does. Works for me, and I always feel good because when I walk out of Supercuts, I look good. Back in a minute, we put a wrap, and we got the Gould style coming your way next on Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
Now has 2 FM homes. You can now find real sports talk on 96.1 as well as 87.7 on your FM dial.
Jim Gray from Westwood One with a Monday Night Football preview. Coming up, NFC East action when the New York Giants travel to Philadelphia to face the Eagles. The Giants are out of the playoff race but can still play a spoiler role as Carson Wentz and the Eagles start a stretch run of must-win games. Philadelphia head coach Doug Peterson on their playoff chances.
As crazy as this is, I mean, I would say it's a long shot, but we're not out of it. We do have 4, of our division opponents coming up, and the guys got to understand that, and it's my job to make sure they do understand that we're still fighting. But I've got to show them that exactly where we are and what we need to do with these next 4 games.
Kevin Harlan and Hall of Famer Kurt Warner will have the call of the Eagles and the Giants on Monday Night Football.
Remember to listen to Westwood One's coverage of the NFL all season long, right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
O'Reilly.
This is Wesley's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
When I'm just getting off work, there's only so many hours left in the day, so I definitely don't want to spend all my time waiting in line for car parts. With O'Reilly, I can buy the parts I need online and pick them up on my way home. It's so quick and easy, I don't have to worry about losing daylight to get my car up and running.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Pros, start with Lowe's for the brands you rely on every day, like A.O. Smith and SharkBite. Lowe's is the only place you'll find A.O. Smith Signature Series water heaters. From point of use to 100-gallon capacities, whatever size the job, you can count on us to have what you need. Plus, the Signature Series now includes gas and electric tankless models. Make your next plumbing job easier and save time by choosing from our full assortment of SharkBite push-to-connect fittings. Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's, U.S. only.
Hi, I'm Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. If you need a roof for your home or business, we hope to hear from you and we will work hard to earn your business. We are experts and certified in residential and commercial roofing, siding, and gutter installation. We have been serving the Memphis area for over 20 years, and now with two of my sons working with me, we plan to be here for many years to come. So if you need a roof, please give us a call. On a personal note, what a great time to be a Memphis sports fan. With the Grizzlies' new look, the Redbirds, the 901 FC, and the Tigers football and basketball teams, it's going to be a fun year. Thank you to Coach Norvell, Coach Hardaway, and their staffs for your dedication to your student athletes, the University of Memphis, and to fans like me who have waited forever to have both the football and basketball teams ranked at the same time. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
The Vault on G.E. Patterson in South Main downtown has all your game day needs with 30 TVs. If your game is not on one of the 20 big screens, then sit in a booth with your own remote. The Vault has game day specials on pitchers, buckets of beer, and great food, which is the best thing about the Vault. This is not your normal sports bar. Chef Dirk Meitzler from On Tour and Cafe 621 has all his favorites like chicken Newport and his new lobster enchilada. Open for lunch and dinner every day with lunch specials for $12 weekdays with a drink. The Vault on G.E. Patterson in South Main, your downtown place to eat, drink, and watch the game.
Hey folks, I'm Jarrett Carter. My family recently purchased East Memphis Ace Hardware at Quince and White Station, and we're excited to offer the best selection of Big Green Egg and Traeger grills. And then don't forget about our Benjamin Moore Paint Studio and the Garden Center for fall flowers. Save 60% with our new Duracell key fob replacement program. We have a master locksmith service as well as glass cutting and screen repair. We're located at Quince and White Station behind Three Little Pigs. Look forward to seeing everyone over the holidays.
Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Our Ghouls Style segment every Monday at this time, all the great locations around town. A Ghouls is never far away from downtown to the Park Place where the Ghouls Academy is located. Olive Branch, Overton Square, part of the real renaissance of the square. Massage, body treatments, facials, or just a haircut. Superior Spa Service and Salon Services started in 1932, 87 years, getting ready to be 88 of that powerhouse. Mr. Sam Gould opened a barbershop, and this was created, this being the upscale ambiance and superior customer service. And this time of year, the Ghouls gift card, it's the gift you cannot go wrong with for anniversaries, birthdays, weddings, holidays. Make someone feel so very special with the Ghouls gift card. Follow them on Twitter at Ghoul Salons or their website, ghoulsalons.com. And that gift card is the gift that keeps on giving year-round. It's perfect for this time of year. The style for me has got to go to Mike Norvell. These 3 years, when we heard of him on that Friday, he was hired in 2015 to the 16. Is that right? In 2016, right?
Yes.
16 was his first year, but he was hired in before the new year.
December of 15, that's right. And we were on remote that Friday afternoon. I'd never heard of Mike Norvell. We know him now. And these last 3 years have been spectacular. I wish him well. We look forward to following him for a long time, I hope, to a championship-winning record at FSU.
I think he certainly has the ability offensive. His mind is incredible.
I know I don't want to play.
He finds and exploits weaknesses on the other side. He knows how to put guys to their positions where they will be in a spot of advantageous ability, it's a beautiful thing to watch, and we got to see 12 wins, maybe close to 13 this year. If you take away the Temple. For me, it's the comeback over this weekend. The Tiger football team had a comeback 4 times. The Memphis basketball team fell behind by 20 points. You don't usually come back from 20 down. In college basketball, they were down by as many as 17 in the second half and came back and won that game and were rewarded today. Because had they lost that game at UAB, they might have gone from 16 down to like 22. They go from 16 to 13 on the strength of that win in the AP poll. So it's the comebacks. That's the style, the Gould style for me. We take a break. When we come back, hour number 3 of the program, it'll be Barrett Jones on more college football. Why not? That's what we're talking about today on Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
Hey everybody, this is Coach Penny Hardaway. There's a comfort in being home, and to me, comfort food and family makes Memphis the place to be, along with having the best basketball fans in America. I like pulling into Corky's and getting one of their family party packs. How can you go wrong with pork, beans, slaw, sauce, and buns for only $5.99 a person? It is so easy. I can call ahead, order online, or just pop in. Tailgating can't get any easier. Tell them Penny sent you.
Encore flavor, Corky's barbecue.
Jim Gray from Westwood One with a Monday Night Football preview. Coming up, NFC East action when the New York Giants travel to Philadelphia to face the Eagles. The Giants are out of the playoff race but can still play a spoiler role as Carson Wentz and the Eagles start a stretch run of must-win games. Philadelphia head coach Doug Peterson on their playoff chances.
As crazy as this is, I mean, I would say it's a long shot, but we're not out of it. We do have 4, of our division opponents coming up, and the guys got to understand that, and it's my job to make sure they do understand that we're still fighting. But I've got to show them that exactly where we are and what we need to do with these next 4 games.
Kevin Harlan and Hall of Famer Kurt Warner will have the call of the Eagles and the Giants on Monday Night Football.
Remember to listen to Westwood One's coverage of the NFL all season long, right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Dealing with battery problems? America's #1 battery destination is here to help. At AutoZone, we've got the free services to help you start even stronger in those colder temperatures, like our free battery testing and battery charging. If you're having starting troubles, come into AutoZone. We'll test and charge your battery for free so you can drive with peace of mind in the wintertime. Getting the job done just got easier. Visit your nearest AutoZone today to learn more. Based on data from the NPD Group Incorporated, Car Care Track 12 months ending December 2018.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Lowe's has the supplies pros like you use most every day. And when the job demands more, we have the quantities needed for any size job at savings you can count on. Because when you buy in bulk, you'll get 30% off Owens Corning or John's Manville fiberglass bat insulation when you buy 15 or more. And get 30% off select fiberglass roll insulation when you buy 20 or more. Order at LowesForPros.com and pick up in store where our pro loaders will be ready to load you up so you can get back to the job site faster. Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Valid 12/12 through 12/15 U.S. only.
It may not be stomach issues.
For me, it's intense gas, or pain, or diarrhea, sometimes all at once, over and over.
I spent years with the symptoms, but could never figure it out.
No matter what I did, they never went away. So I decided to break it down for my doctor and get really specific about my symptoms.
We discovered that exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, may be the reason for my stomach issues.
EPI is caused by my pancreas. It leads to diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools. The symptoms just don't go away.
But EPI can show up with even one symptom.
The good news? EPI is manageable.
But to get to the right diagnosis, you have to break it down for your doctor and get specific about the severity of your symptoms.
Visit identifyepi.com to learn more and use the symptom checker to help change the conversation with your doctor. Brought to you by AbbVie.
You've heard of James Gaddis Jewelers, but have you heard what they've done lately? Everything, a tremendous selection of diamonds and jewels and gold and silver and more. Lots of watches, tons of custom-made jewelry, diamonds, fine gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, so many choices. Romantics will love the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. James Gaddis has experts in wedding and engagement rings, plus 2 repair experts for fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis, local and family-owned. Whatever your dream, make it come true at James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Wolosian and Brett Norsworthy.
Barrett Jones joins us next. He was at the Pac-12 championship game on Friday night and the ACC game on Saturday night. We talked with him about college football playoff Final Four and all the coaching carousel. After I tell you about DeSoto Auto Sales, all the cars at DeSoto Auto Sales, test-driven, checked out from head to toe, unlimited inventory, quite literally every make, every model. If by chance they don't have it, they'll go out and find it for you. No shortcuts taken at DeSoto Auto Sales. You walk in and you're treated like family by kind, courteous employees in a laid-back, down-home atmosphere. No high-pressure sales at DeSoto Auto Sales at 5704 Goodman Road. Visit them online at DeSotoAutosales.com. They know we're living in a world today that time matters, and that's why they want you to have the ultimate car experience. What exactly is that? That's you getting with your sales rep, and within 45 minutes, you've test-driven your car, you've gotten credit approved, the paperwork's done, and you're out of there. Check out the referrals at DeSotoAutosales.com, 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto County for the town and country experience on Goodman Road at DeSoto Auto Sales.
Barrett Jones joins us now. He did 2 games this week. He did the Pac-12 championship, where I was just absolutely, totally shocked that Utah got swamped by Oregon. Did that surprise you at all, Barrett, the one-sidedness of that championship game?
Well, what's up, guys? Glad to be on. And, yeah, it definitely surprised me. Absolutely. I was shocked with the way it all went down, and I thought Utah would win the game, and I just thought that they would at least give a much better effort than that. And you know, looking back, I was very wrong, and respect the way that Oregon played, and just very surprised. Offensively, Oregon had been a mess the last really 2 weeks. Arizona State, before they got it going at the end of the game, they were a mess, and then in the Civil War against Oregon State, they only scored 17 points against a kind of a bad defense. So I did not see that offensive output coming. And really, if you go back and watch the tape, the offensive line just dominated that game against a really good defensive front from Utah. And very impressive showing for the Ducks. And Mario Cristobal's done a great job with that program. And really cost the Pac-12 any chance of getting into the college football playoff. And then Clemson, the Pac-12 always finds a way to mess itself up. They really do. And then you were there for the Clemson Virginia game, and that was another one-sided affair. Are you at all surprised, because Ohio State is the 2 seed, Clemson is the 3 seed, but Vegas thinks it should be the other way? Clemson's a 2-point favorite. Did that surprise you? Not really. I mean, I think that it's not one thing we've learned in this whole process is, as much as they say it is, it's not just the best teams. You know what I mean? In some ways, the 4 best resumes that are the ones that make it in. That's the reality. And so that's how it's seeded. It's not seeded on just what Vegas thinks, but who's earned it more. And so, look, Clemson has looked extremely impressive, particularly these last 6 games. They've been on fire. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, 19 touchdowns, 0 interceptions the last 6 games. He's been feeling it. And this offense is totally in sync and in rhythm. And look, they have weapons all over the field. So I think it's not that surprising. If you think back, a lot of times in football, it's kind of like, especially with a situation like Clemson, something happens early in the year, there's a close game against North Carolina, and then we sort of change our mind about what we thought we knew. And then by the end of the year, we kind of go back and we're like, you know what? Really, it was just sort of like we thought the whole time. That Clemson's really good. They have a lot of good players. And that's basically the reality is that they're a very good football team. And I'm actually calling that game, so I cannot wait for that one because I think it's just going to be incredible, all the talent on that field. And it's going to be really, really remarkable to watch. I think it might be the best game we get all season, so I'm pumped.
You've seen all 4 of the CFP teams in person this year, correct?
That is correct.
Multiple times, haven't you?
I have. I've seen them all at least twice.
Yeah, I thought so. Barrett, it won't be easy, but Clemson on the verge. They're 2 wins shy of 30 and zip in back-to-back national championships, and that would be the third for Dabo. That's rarefied air. That's unbelievable.
Oh, there's no doubt. Look, Dabo's got these guys right where he wants them. Somehow he's convinced them that they're an underdog and that no one believes in them, and yada yada. And honestly, I love Dabo, but in some ways it's kind of a tired song and dance. But it's working because they're buying into it right now, and they're feeling it. They really are. They're playing really well, and it's a lot of fun. It's really fun to watch. And I think it's been a tremendous coaching job this year, the way that these guys have gotten better, because I saw them early in the season, and they're a totally different football team than they were when I saw them against Syracuse. And Brent Venables, man, that guy is he's an incredible defensive coordinator. And I think it's going to be a great game. I think in some ways, though, we've in typical human being fashion, we're all about recency bias. And so now our latest things they're telling us, well, maybe Ohio State's not that good because they struggled, for one half against a pretty good Wisconsin team. By the way, they played Michigan and Penn State the 2 weeks before. So now I think it's almost too big of an exodus from Ohio State. Now everyone's saying, well, maybe Ohio State's not that good. Look, the reality is they're very good too. So I think we should be careful not to overcorrect just because now we think Clemson is good. Let's not jump off of Ohio State. The reality is they're both very good teams. And look, you give me Ohio State, Clemson, and LSU. I mean, I can give you some predictions here in a second, but it's pretty much a pick 'em, I think, for all those teams. I really feel that way with the way all these guys are playing, all the talent. Now, look, I think Oklahoma, to me, is the clear 4 seed. Could they win? Sure. I mean, they have a talent. They could find a way to win. I just have a hard time. Look, I have a hard time picturing how the 85 Bears would stop Joe Burrow in that offense. So, pardon me if I'm not fully buying into the whole revamped defense story with Clemson, with Oklahoma, just because they stopped a third-string quarterback at Baylor. I think that Joe Burrow is going to put some points on him.
What shocked me out of the Big 12 championship game is at the line of scrimmage, how the Baylor defensive front really handled the OU offensive line and made life pretty rough on Jalen Hurts all day.
That was surprising to me as well. I agree with you. I noticed that, and I was a little shocked that was the case. So, yeah, I don't their offensive line, they lost 4 starters last year from an offensive line that won the Joe Moore Award, and so they played pretty well, though, so far this year. Not as well as last year, but they've been solid. But, look, Baylor's defense is legit. I still think there's some people that look at Baylor and they think, oh, poor old Baylor. They have a legit defense. Now, look, offensively, they were kind of a mess, just because obviously a lot of that was Charlie Brewer was out. But even when he was in, they were not playing that great. And I think they're just kind of average on offense with their offensive line. They have one good receiver in Denzel Mims. Other than that, I think they're just kind of okay. But defensively, they're a really good football team. And I think really it was basically the same script as the last game to me, is that eventually they just got a little worn out. That offense went 3 and out so many times it felt like in that little second and third quarter stretch that defense, I think, just eventually got tired.
Let's go by game here. Obviously, LSU, you've said the first 3 are special, and we're not going to say Oklahoma's not a good team. They belong there, but they're not in their same league. So LSU should win this one handily?
Yeah, I mean, look, I keep thinking that maybe LSU will come back down to earth. I thought, well, here we go. We got Georgia. They've got a really great defense, and LSU's had some physical games last few weeks. But I mean, they just seem unfazed. And sometimes you just have a team that feels like a team of destiny. And to me, it's LSU right now. I mean, quietly, this defense is playing their best football of the year. The last 2 performances they've had by far their best 2 of the year, and they're playing complimentary football now. So I think LSU to me is playing at such a high level that will Oklahoma score some points? Probably. But do I really believe they can score with that offense and Joe Burrow and all those weapons? CeeDee Lamb's a good player. But we're talking about, when they have Justin Jefferson and two other receivers and Moss at tight end. I mean, they're a tremendous offense. Not to mention Clyde Edwards-Helaire is playing really well. They're just stacked. They're really so stacked offensively. It's hard for me to imagine them scoring less than 30 points on anyone.
And then the one you're calling, and I know you're going to do a lot more work between now and then for that game, but your gut feel right now, break it down.
Kirk Herbstreit, I guess, he never picks the game he's calling, so maybe I don't know if I should do that or not. But I know I'm not quite as big of a deal as Kirk, so I guess.
And our audience isn't quite as big as Kirk's either.
Yeah, that's true. I'm kidding. I don't mind picking the games that I'm calling, but honestly, I could tell you what I'm feeling right now. I think I probably have a little recency bias with just having seen Clemson and how impressive they were. Honestly, I want to dig into the tape. If you made me pick right now, I'd probably pick Clemson, but I reserve the right to change that pick before the game because I haven't really broken down these teams yet, even though I have had them a lot this year. So I think they're both really good. At the end of the day, though, my only twinge toward Clemson is just that I think it's an offensive league, and I think that if I'm going to take one guy at quarterback, as incredible as Justin Fields has been, I'm just telling you, the last month and a half, Trevor Lawrence has been playing as well as anyone in the country, maybe other than Joe Burrow. He's quietly strung together an incredible second half of the season. So, and by the way, like all the talk last year was about Justin Ross, the 5-star freshman who had an incredible game in the national championship. T. Higgins has not got enough credit. He is playing at an incredible level this season for Clemson. I think he'll be a first-round draft pick with the season he's put together this year for Clemson. Kind of, again, like somehow under the radar, Clemson's been really good. They have a linebacker, Isaiah Simmons, who's Mr. Everything, who will be huge in their game plan to stopping them. I will say, I do think Clemson, they're not maybe quite as good on defense as their numbers might indicate. I think some of that just comes from their opponent. Brent Venables has done a great job, but up front, they don't do a great job of generating pass rush without pressure. And I think when you play great teams, that could come back to bite you. So I do think some teams will score points on them. I just think Trevor Lawrence is playing so well right now. So, again, I think it's a toss-up. I really do. I think it's a pick-em kind of game that I can't wait to watch.
Barrett, on Friday when we all three did our SEC game picks, none of us picked outright Georgia. We all thought Georgia would stay a lot closer than that. It really wasn't close. It was a real handling by LSU over the Bulldogs. And I used this note earlier. Through 45 games, Kirby is now 43-12 at Georgia. He's done a lot of winning. Most programs would trade with that in a second. Mark Richt's first 55 games at Georgia, he was 45-10. So he's two better than Kirby. They don't need to make a change, but Kirby was brought in to top Mark Richt, not be a little bit behind him or right around him.
Well, you're right, and don't think that's lost in the Georgia boosters either. I think we're kind of in this spot for in my opinion on Kirby, and I know they thought they did this last year, but I never thought I'd be this guy. It's just time to change the offense. I mean, look, it looks tired, it looks old. As much as I love that offense, I thought Georgia had one of the best O-lines in the country this year, and I just don't really think they got to use it much because of how limited they were in the passing game. Now, look, I know that a lot of that has to do with the weapons they had. I get it. Cager was hurt. Pickham's out the first. You can tell me all the excuses you want. I'm just telling you that I don't really feel like they maximized the talent this year on offense of what they were doing. And I just think with the way the RPO game has evolved, you need to spread it out a little bit more, and no matter how good your O-line is. So I kind of think, I don't know who that guy is, but they got to find somebody. I'm not going to say, obviously not Lane Kiffin, but like a Lane Kiffin for Alabama that's going to help sort of transform who they are offensively and bring them up to date with what everyone else is doing, because they're not scoring enough right now. And they're not, I don't think, good enough to win championships with the way they've been running offense, at least this season.
You had so many elite teams that you broadcast this year. Give me your best offense. Give me your best defense.
Ooh, that's easy on offense. I'm still going to take Joe Burrow and the LSU Tigers on offense. I just think, and I've already touched on that, they're stacked. Defense is much harder because, I do think Clemson's defense is really good. I think Ohio State's is a really good defense. If I had to pick, man, that's really hard. If I had to pick, I'd probably go Ohio State just because I'll say the tiebreaker for me is Chase Young. I think Chase Young is such a good player that he can change. He can wreck the game. And there's not a whole lot of other players like that in college football this year on defense, in my opinion. And Chase Young is just a guy that can totally take it over and totally ruin your game plan if you don't account for him every play. So I'm going to go with Ohio State. But, yeah, I think that's I'll honestly, I haven't seen Georgia. I was pretty impressed with their defense until the SEC championship game. But I also have learned that I can't judge defenses just based on how they do against Joe Burrow because they pretty much all fall short in that category.
So he would have been your Heisman winner, huh?
Who else would you hope for? I literally started I asked several guys. Of course Joe Burrow is going to be. Who else would be the guys that are there? It's not even when it's not a clear picture who the runner-ups will be. I think that's pretty obvious. I don't even know who will get second. I have no idea. Which Ohio State player will get the most votes between Chase Young and Justin Fields and I have no idea. Dobbins, right? Who's going to get the most votes between those three guys? Jalen Hurts. Will he be there? Maybe. He hasn't really been that great down the stretch. There's just not really another candidate that is truly up there to me. Hypothetically, who would you guys put on your ballot? I'm just kidding. I know you can't say that.
We are embargoed.
Hypothetically, we refuse to answer. I do think Jalen Hurts, what a noteworthy statistic and historical note about him. 4 years, 4 college football playoffs, now 2 different teams. He's
how about he's there and his other team's not?
And he's there and his other team's not. That's correct, Barrett.
I knew that you would have to rub that in. Thanks a lot, Dave. That felt good.
First time.
Hey, I'm not. You're now a national broadcaster. You're the guy that just said
national broadcaster. You can't college.
You can't pick because you're calling the game. So you're beyond just being an Alabama guy now. You're a national treasure.
That doesn't mean I didn't remove my heart. I still have a heart in there somewhere.
And that diploma counts, doesn't it? And that letters jacket.
Right. That diploma definitely counts. So it's incredible. You're totally right, Brett. It's an incredible accomplishment what he's been able to do, and I think even more so than just the playoffs. Obviously, the playoffs that's obviously impressive in its own right, but just the way he was immediately embraced as a leader. To me, that says a lot about who he is as a person. Who transfers in his name to team captain? That's pretty incredible when you think about it. Just the kind of guy that this guy is. And I'm not surprised that they're back there. I think it's maybe Lincoln Riley's best coaching job, in my opinion. The job he's done. It's an incredible run these guys are on. And Jalen Hurts has had an awesome season.
Okay, tell me of these 3 years at Alabama, the job if he had to hang it in the Louvre, which one would Lane Kiffin hang this job with the quarterbacks he had in 2014 with Blake Sims, in 2015 with Jake Coker, or in 2016 with a true freshman, Offensive Player of the Year, Jalen Hurts? What was the best job of the 3 by Lane Kiffin with those 3 quarterbacks?
Man. Gosh, that's hard. To be honest, he did a great job on all 3 of them. I would say if you make me choose, I'll choose Jake Coker because they won the national championship. So maybe that's kind of results-based. But I thought Lane was brilliant all 3 of those seasons. Look, and we'll just say on Lane, I think he's the best play caller I've ever seen in college football on Saturdays. I want to see how has he progressed as a leader and an organizational, CEO, for lack of a better term. I don't, because I've never seen him in that role. So that to me, that's the question. I know he's a great play caller, and I think he'll do great things for the play calling. I just want to see, how has he progressed in those other areas? And look, he's had 3 years of experience now, so he probably has progressed in a big way.
I think he clearly has at FAU. At Florida Atlantic, he was the CEO. And he was clever with his little tweets, so he kept it interesting, but he was always doing great play calling. I'll be honest with you, the best play caller I've seen is Mike Norvell. He can beat you running, he can beat you throwing, he knows how to get his guys in advantageous positions. We've seen some good guys here, and I appreciate it. Going back to when it opened up with Spurrier and then Hal Mummy and that whole crew and Mike Leach. I think Kiffin's up there too, but we're going to see with Florida State now for sure, but I think you're going to appreciate in the long run what Mike Norvell can do when it comes to offensive play calling.
Yeah, well, you're probably right. I love Mike Norvell. I think he's fantastic. I'm going to miss him. I wish him the best. I hope he does a great job there. I mean, I rooted for Memphis so hard. I forced everyone to change. I had a bunch of LSU fans, and I was like, look, we got to change one of these 8 TVs over to the Memphis game up in the press, because everyone was trying to watch the SEC championship game. I was like, you guys are sleeping on the American up here. So, look, I'm a huge fan. I loved watching him, and just, again, really excited about watching his next chapter.
Did you like the Kiffin hire for Ole Miss?
I did. Yeah, there are safer hires out there, but to me, the ceiling is high. Look, let's be honest, it could go wrong or it could go very right to me. And so, or maybe more realistically, we could get a little bit of both.
As an old lineman, you have to like Sam Pittman to Arkansas.
I do like Sam Pittman. Like Arkansas, we talked about, they're in a tough spot, and they need someone who's committed and loves it there. And he's obviously been there before and knows the area and is a great recruiter. So I did like that hire a lot, and I think he'll do a good job. And I think it's a long road to hoe, but you need someone who's committed to doing it.
Yeah, and I love offensive linemen. Could have offensive lineman as the next coach of the Tigers here. Offensive line coach as the next coach of the Tigers here, in Ryan Silverfield. You offensive linemen are taking over the world.
By the way, I'd be in very much support of that. I love Ryan Silverfield. I think he's fantastic. He's a really good coach and does a great job, and great guy too. So I think that'd be a really good hire. But we'll see what happens.
We are in total agreement on that one. And I started the show, and I'll repeat it again, way back at 3:00. But the common denominator of the 4 coaches that are coaching in the college football playoff this year, all were elevated from within their programs to become the head coach. And I think the Tigers would be doing a good thing for a long, long time, because I don't think he's in a hurry to use this as a stepping stone. Ryan Silverfield would be a great hire.
I agree. I think it's great if you to find guys that are committed to want to do what you're doing. And to me, he's a smart guy, good mind, and again, like you said, committed. Look, I think Mike Norvell did it the right way. I mean, he was passionate about the program. Obviously, I think we knew that at some point he might move on, but he was patient. He waited for the right job. He didn't just take the first one that popped up, and it ended up paying off for him, in my opinion. So I think he was tremendous, and I think we can all agree he left it much better than he found it.
He is Barrett Jones. He'll be besides that Clemson Ohio State semifinal. Are you calling any bowl games?
Oh, yeah. I got the Sugar and the Orange and the New Orleans Bowl.
All right.
We'll visit next Monday about it.
We sure will.
Thank you, Barrett.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. That is Barrett Jones on a major role with all these great games. He's brought to you in part by Matt Eflin. There's another guy on a major role. 20 years of insurance experience, all in the Memphis market. He graduated from the U of M, and he went right to work. Big Tiger fan, by the way. And the way he goes to work is, well, he basically rolls up his sleeves, sits down with you, and does this very personalized one-on-one approach to evaluate all your insurance needs. And he specializes in all types of insurance. It could be personal or it could be business. All you do is make the call, 757-2315, and then talk. If it's family business, family insurance, personal insurance, he'll talk to you about your family. If it's business, let's forecast out 5 years or 10 years. What do you need protected the most? He finds the product, and all of a sudden, you have that secure feeling. It's a good feeling, I promise. To get those quotes, again, the number, 757-2315. That's the Eflin Insurance Group. We take a break. When we come back, we've got Monday Night Football Big Four coming your way. That's next on Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
Take Sports 56 with you on your phone or tablet. Download our official Sports 56 app today.
Is your company going through a merger or downsizing and you feel your job is in jeopardy? Don't delay. Call ProResume, the #1 source for professional resumes in the Mid-South. Go to ProResume.biz or call 685-1950, the fastest way to a new job.
I'm here with the great Pat Donahue from the Rendezvous Restaurant Shipping Department.
Thanks, Brett. We've been shipping our ribs all over the country now for decades from our USDA-inspected shipping kitchen in the Pinch District. We hand-cook our ribs in pits that Mr. Charlie built over charcoal, just like they do at the restaurant.
So what comes in a rib box?
We could do pork shoulder, we could do ribs, our sauce, seasoning, baked beans, coleslaw. We'll even throw in Pancho's cheese dip with our nacho boxes. We also put a bag of Rendezvous seasoned popcorn, heating instructions, some chef hats, some wet naps, and some other helpful tips from our kitchen. We ship our ribs overnight, exclusively FedEx. And we put them in nice packaging. We don't ever want to use styrofoam, so we use corrugated cardboard, actually 2 boxes that fit nice together, so the ribs get to you, your loved ones, or your clients in a safe, wholesome manner. Rendezvous ribs are perfect for out-of-town clients, customers, loved ones. We also ship ribs for any occasion.
Where do we order these great ribs?
You can go to www.hogsfly.com or give us a call at 1-888-464-7359.
Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous Restaurant in the alley since 1948.
Do you suffer from pain, stress, anxiety, depression, PTSD, arthritis, and multiple sclerosis? You want an all-natural way to manage these conditions. Hempville is unlike any CBD store you've ever seen. It's not a one-size-or-brand-fits-all. Hempville has a variety of CBD applications and brand names. They have a well-trained professional staff to help educate you on CBD and what application is best for your individual needs. Hempville has 2 locations to serve you. South Haven at 562 Goodman Road East and Oxford at 1801 Jackson Avenue West. Hempville, where your relief is their mission.
Napa know-how. Just in time for the holidays, select Craftsman tools are now available at Napa. Celebrate with a Craftsman 20-volt cordless impact wrench kit for just $149.99. It's the perfect gift for everyone in your list, even you. So get great savings on select Craftsman tools, now available at your local Napa store. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores while supplies last. Offer ends 12/31/19.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM, 96.1, and 87.7 FM, as well as online around the world at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere on your phone or tablet by downloading the Sports 56 app, and at home, tell Alexa or Google to play Sports 56. If it's happening in the world of sports, we've got it covered. Wherever you are, stay tuned to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales.
Here once again
are Dave Wolosian and Brad Norsworthy.
Christmas almost here. I got the best gift for you guys. Certificates to either the simulator or maybe a lesson at Robo Golf Pro Memphis. You know all about this by now. This is the robot that's got the perfect swing, but not just the perfect swing, your perfect swing. Robert Jackson, he'll look at you, and he'll then adjust the robot, and the robot goes through what the motion should be, and you get muscle memory. And while you're there, even in the dead of winter, because Robo Golf Pro Memphis has this incredible simulator and really a party room, it's a great place for an event for you for the holidays, if you would like. And honestly, they do parties, they do small group activities. They actually got winter leagues now on that simulator. But if it's cold and you don't want to lose your touch, this is the perfect way to go. Call about the gift certificates. Or you can just go in and, if you want, play Pebble Beach. So many options, so many good things. Robo Golf Pro Memphis, right at the driving range that is on Macon Road. Call Robert. Get a lesson, too. He's incredible. That's 901-300-2720. 300-2720. Robert Jackins and Robo Golf Pro Memphis.
New York Giants and Philadelphia Eagles tonight on a cold, cold night. It looks like at Lincoln Financial.
Wet.
In Philly. The Eagles need it badly. The Giants, they're not playing for anything at all.
It was raining in torrents.
Could be Eli Manning's last Monday night. Probably will be Eli Manning's last Monday night football appearance.
He's done after this year, isn't he?
All time, the Giants and Eagles, 84 wins for the Giants, 84 wins for the Eagles.
Really? That's like the Bears and Packers.
And 2 ties. When they've met in playoffs, 2-2.
Man.
That's as even as it gets.
That is incredible. Well, the Giants are the inferior team, and the Eagles are playing to tie the Cowboys for the division.
played for the first time in 1933.
There's no way the Eagles are losing this game tonight. At home, I
No
don't care
way.
if it's raining. They have a shot at the playoffs.
Drew's got the Giants tonight. You need them to win.
Yeah, how many points did I get him at?
9.5.
That's possible in this rain. That will help you.
That will help you. Might be 9-0.
Well, before I make picks, I always, look at the almanac and everything. Make sure I have the forecast down.
Which makes more sense than the last comment you made during the break.
Yeah, exactly.
That stays for us only.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes,
absolutely.
That's for the in the break only show. You got to be an exclusive subscriber to that.
All right, so we do this thing on Monday night where we do the big four.
Y'all have had the Giants.
We had the Giants. So you do your first four, and then I'll do my 4 to 8.
All right, for the Giants, I'm going to go alphabetical order. I swear this is how it fell out. I don't list 1 through 4. I think the greatest Giant ever is Lawrence Taylor, but alphabetically, go Eli Manning, Phil Simms, Michael Strahan, and LT Lawrence Taylor.
I know I had LT Manning, Strahan for sure.
Tiki Barber's in there to be an argument for sure. Amani Toomer to be argued. Harry Carson, I loved Harry Carson's Hall of Fame stance. Forever he was kind of left at the altar, and he finally kind of said in a nice Harry Carson manner, "Put me in next year, or take me off the ballot. I don't care."
Right,
and he got in.
And he got in.
Carl Banks was really good,
and I've got him in. Harry Carson, Sam Huff, who was an unbelievable linebacker in the 50s and the 60s. Frank Gifford, the Giff, who
there's a tie with the opponent tonight with the Eagles, with Chuck Bednarik, who left him for dead one day on that hit.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. They did. Well, he had to sit out almost a year from that. You know that. And he actually played, halfback and then moved to flanker.
Hurt him so bad he later married Kathy Lee over it.
That's right. And then Mel Hine. You're going to go, who is he?
Hall of Famer.
He was an original Hall of Fame class. He played 1931 all the way to 1945. 15 years. He was outstanding. He was their everything center.
An NFL
those
contributor,
are my 4 to 8.
The Mara family, and where the term the Duke for the football comes from, was from Wellington Mara Sr. That was his nickname, the Duke.
That's why they named that football the Duke, because the greatest football when I was a kid growing up, I don't even know if they still make that.
They do. It's on every NFL issued ball.
Oh, it's still the NFL ball? The Duke, yeah.
And then, then years later, and she's now pretty I don't go to the movies, but I know she's an acclaimed star, the actress Rooney Mara, which, what an NFL name. One half of the family, the Rooneys of the Steelers, the other half, the Maras. Do you think she even has to show an ID at an NFL stadium to get in? Just walk in and say, "Hey, I'm Rooney Mara."
And you say she's an actress?
She was the star of the, what was the name of the movie? Kiss of the Dragon Girl or something like that, where she had all the body art.
The girl with the dragon tattoo.
Girl with the thing, something. I showed to everybody that doubted me that I don't go to movies when I said the Kiss of the Dragon Girl, didn't I? What was the name of the movie again?
The girl with the dragon tattoo.
The girl with the dragon tattoo.
There she is. I just Googled her.
Lovely and gracious Rooney Mara.
Wow. Huh.
What a name.
Who knew? I mean, I've seen this girl before. She's 34. Attractive. Never knew that she was part of the family. Rooney Mara?
Yeah,
wow.
Both sides.
Man. Yeah, you're right. I don't think she can get a ticket to the
Can she demand
to
any
a game in New York or Pittsburgh?
Anywhere. She could go to a game in Tampa Bay and walk in and let me in. All right, Drew, your Giants.
All right, my 5 through 8. I have Phil Simms at 5, Michael Strahan 6, Sam Huff 7, and I put Tiki Barber at number 8.
Who'd you have in your top 4?
Top 4, I had LT, Y.A. Tittle, Frank Gifford, and Eli Manning.
Good for you having Y.A. Tittle.
I had Y.A. in my top 4 as well.
If I had to go out to 8, I'd have to get Charlie Connerly in there.
Yeah, you would.
He came in 4th place for the Heisman in 47 when who won it from Notre Dame?
47?
Yeah. Wwho won it for Notre Dame that year in 47? He's still alive. He's the oldest.
I thought it was like the Army guys were winning in the 40s.
He's the oldest living Heisman winner now. won it in 47. Charlie Connolly came in fourth.
Johnny Lujak.
Johnny Lujak. And he's still alive.
Who were the second and third?
Second and third oldest? It's going to make you.
No. That year, you told me Connolly was 4.
I don't know.
Johnny Lujak was 1.
Do you know who the second oldest living Heisman winner is right now? Paul Hornung.
Is that right?
Yeah. Roger Staubach's like 5th oldest.
Well, think about this. Most of those contemporaries of Hornung have passed. Those great Green Bay Packer teams,
a
lot of them are gone.
Really have.
Y'all want to know who 2 and 3 were in 47?
Yeah, who were they?
Doak Walker from SMU
real good.
and
Doak Walker next year.
Bob Chapius from Michigan.
Never heard of him.
He's a running back, had 419 yards, and that gets you into the Heisman voting.
Which makes us even because Bob Chapius has never heard of me.
No, but I have no Doak Walker.
Yeah, he won it the next year.
You know, I met Doak a lot, actually. When I lived in Steamboat, so did he. His wife owned the biggest ski shop in the area.
What was their tie out there?
I think. Wait, I know this for sure. So Skeeter Walker, Doak's wife, was she was the buddy. What was his name? There was a famous skiing family of Steamboat, and that's.
So they settled out there and opened
So they
one?
settled out there because
a lot of the people that established those were World War II people that were in the mountain division. In the 10th Mountain Division, they went out there and started those because they saw a lot of them in Europe and opened them after the war out there.
Right. By the time I was living out there, though, aerospace companies and hotel chains own mountains. And that's who owns them now. Yeah.
Eagles.
My Eagles, I'll start with Randall Cunningham. He would be 4. It was, we kind of like underrate Randall Cunningham, I think, over all the years. But
the playoffs, there was or lack of.
There
really
were 2 or 3 years where he was the dominant quarterback, I thought, in the National Football League. Harold Carmichael, the great wide receiver. Chuck Bednarik, the aforementioned
number 60.
Great linebacker. And to me, the greatest Philadelphia Eagle of all time. Reggie White.
And now that's 2 different teams for Reggie White. Isn't that something we all had him somewhere in the mix for the Packers, and I have him alphabetically. He'll be last.
I'm biased, though.
With the Eagles. Number 1 for me alphabetically, Chuck Bednarik. 2, Brian Dawkins just went in the Hall of Fame. 3, Donovan McNabb. I think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. And 4, Reggie White. Drew?
Same top 4. The only thing different is I think I had McNabb at 2 and Dawkins at 3.
Yeah, and for the Eagles, someday Nick Foles doesn't get in there, but he was MVP of the Super Bowl, wasn't he?
If we went to 8, I'd have him in.
You'd have Nick Foles in your top 8 Eagles ever?
Yes.
No.
He won the Super Bowl MVP for their only Super Bowl.
I'd go Carmichael and company. I like that. I don't know if I'd go Randall Cunningham, but he's close.
He's done more
Wilbert Montgomery.
Super Bowls than Randall Cunningham has.
Yeah, he had a great day that day. There's no doubt about it. Look, on Friday, Drew and I will be at All-Star Chevrolet down in Olive Branch. We want you to come see us on remote down there on Friday. And there's a brand new All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch with a big red bow and your name on it. Come down and get it on Friday with us. If you're ready for a new Chevy, a Silverado, a Traverse, the all-new Blazer, ready for any new Chevy. Most of the All-Stars they have 2019s. They're priced at employee prices. You know what that means? You could save thousands paying what the employees pay for the 19s. All-Star has lots of 2019s, more than any other Mid-South dealer to sell by the end of this year. Go to allstarautogroup.com and see what I'm talking about. Remember, don't go to the Pike or Mount Moriah or Collierville or South Haven for the Beat Any Dealer's Price Challenge and your best time ever. It's got to be Olive Branch. Find new roads to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch or go to allstarautogroup.com today and come see us on Friday afternoon when I'm there with Drew from 3 to 6 Friday afternoon, and Dave will check with us from Knoxville, hopefully not with Bald Fist.
No bald fist, no. But by the way, while we've got this chance and this opportunity, how'd you like a full year and not have to make a house payment? Simple. You go to sports56whbq.com, go right now, enter our Home for the Holidays contest. You got a chance to win a full year of mortgage or rent payments. Somebody's going to win. That's right, a year's worth of house payments. All you've got to do, doesn't cost you a penny. Just enter by going to sports56whbq.com. Interesting. Somebody said on the text line, First Bank text line, Mike Norvell should not coach the bowl game. It would be a slap in the face to Ryan Silverfield and the current coaching staff. Also, Silverfield should absolutely be the new head coach.
You think news is made this week on that front? You think the Tigers hire this week?
I don't know. It would behoove them to, and I'm sure that Laird Veach, who's gone dark, is doing as much of it as he can and trying to get people in and out of here. But I think that's awfully quick. How much due diligence can you do in 5 days? But by the way, the texter said, and you might have said this, when Norvell first met the folks at FSU, it was during our open week.
Well documented.
Yeah.
About that open date. But look, they had to know it was coming. So you start your preparation, don't you? I mean, I don't think that came as a surprise to anybody Saturday.
No, I think the minute Willie Taggart got fired, I knew right then and there
in the country and best available coach
that he was going to be in the game.
No shot.
And
at
I
the
already
SEC
knew because he had already told me on occasion the list of teams he would consider going to.
And he wasn't
believe
going
it or
to
not,
Miss, Arkansas.
Washington was another one that he loves that job. He thinks that's a great job. Right? He does. He loved that job. He loved LSU. Obviously he'd love Oklahoma or Texas, but this job was one of those. USC, Washington, those were the two in the Pac-12, not Arizona or Arizona State, where he came from.
Okay, so Ryan Silverfield is probably candidate number one. I don't think this person should or will get the job, but why not? And, Dave, you talk about people kind of being reformed in the second chance, and we believe in second chances. And I think Ed Orgeron has capitalized on his second chance largely because of where it is. It's at LSU. I would love for my second chance in coaching to be that. But offensive genius, Bobby Petrino.
You know, a lot of these guys blew it because of the way they conduct themselves on the field. Strategy, X's and O's, not getting good recruits, whatever it may be. There's a lot of other stuff behind the scenes that would make me really leery of Bobby Petrino, starting with the motorcycle accident or whatever it was in Arkansas to the way he treated people.
But he says
at several different spots. Well, he's had that chance. And how about this?
Had it at Western Kentucky.
He got to Western Kentucky, and he left him right away to go right back to Louisville.
Here's the thing on second chances, and I'm for them. But it's a little bit like when, the governor has furloughs and pardons and lets people back out, and we all want to give everybody second chances, but don't move in our neighborhood.
Well, for Bobby Petrino, it would be a third chance.
And the Tigers can do better than Bobby Petrino.
Yeah. I am surprised we have not seen on these message boards or gotten a call, but there is a contingent out there that would like to see Hugh Freeze
Where
get
are you
this
going
job.
to all these message boards? I've never been to one in my life.
They're easy to find, my friend.
No, thank you. Utter garbage. And you think any realistic chance of Hugh Freeze in Memphis?
I don't know. I personally do not see that, but there are other people that do. Look, he was good enough to get the job at Liberty. He got another chance there.
Took him to a bowl.
Took him to a bowl in his very first year. He can coach. I don't think
I'm
there's
going to
any
check out
doubt
the
about
Liberty
that.
message boards tonight. That's my nightly
Yeah, there
task.
you go. You go do that. All you got to do is Google it. It'll come right up. We got to take a break. I'll let you know This portion of the show is brought to you by James Davis. I had such a good time at the James Davis Men's Store Christmas party last Thursday. So many people I saw in there, and Stats, so many of them send along good messages to you. They listen to this show. They love this show.
Thank you. We love
and
y'all.
they love that store, and I love that store too. I think it's by far the best men's store in all of Memphis. You got it at James Davis? Huh? It looks good. Is that a Stant? It is a Stant. You know Stant. They're the only ones that have Stant. That's where you get 3 measurements, about 30 seconds, 9 days later, maybe even a week, $98. You got the perfect fitting shirt. It's a custom shirt like no other, and now they're doing it with pants. And the best luggage I've ever had anywhere, anytime, in any country is Toomey. And where do they have Toomey luggage? James Davis Men's Store. The Shinola watches, all this really wonderful state-of-the-art stuff, and it lasts. I've had this Toomey luggage now. I bet I've had it for, 10 years. It's got the wheels and the handle. You know how every one of those breaks? Not with Toomey. Great stuff. Free alteration and just the best fashions that there are. The Paul Batenley suits, that same deal, $7.95 for 2. They're normally $5.95 a piece. It's all happening for the holidays. Just get to James Davis Men's Store in the Laurelwood Shopping Center. Back with Crunch Time. We'll wrap up this Monday edition. Busy, busy day on Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
The Peter Edmiston Experience with C.J. Hurt. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10. Only on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Farmers Insurance knows that when you're in the car and that song comes on, yes, that's the one, you have no choice but to pull out your imaginary drumsticks and smash those cymbals and stomp on that kick pedal, which unfortunately is the accelerator pedal. And we covered it. Talk to a farmer's agent who knows a thing or two because they've seen a thing or two.
Call Chad Gatlin at 901-235-1176 or get a fast quote at memphisfarmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. When was the last time you had your heating system tuned up? Did you know your heating system can lose up to 5% efficiency every year it skips a tune-up? Why compromise your family's comfort? Good news, it's heating system tune-up time at Conway Services. Schedule your heating system tune-up today for just $57. Not only will you save big, but we'll also include a Google Home Mini absolutely free while supplies last. That's right, get Conway Services 16-point Energy Saver Super Tune-Up on your heating system for only $57 and get a Google Home Mini absolutely free. The experts at Conway Services will make sure your heating system is ready for those cold winter nights, all for only $57, and we'll include a Google Home Mini absolutely free. Why trust your comfort to anyone else? Stay warm and stay connected. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511. That's 384-3511.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
At Jason's Deli, you can stuff yourself full of great deli food that's healthy, fresh, and best of all, it's not expensive. Jason's Deli is all about choice. Whether you're looking for a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids' meals, or if you'd like to invent your sandwich via the build-your-own selections, Jason's Deli has you covered. And they only use fresh, wholesome ingredients. Choose from the club and specialty sandwiches, paninis, wraps, soups, salads, pastas, and much more. I love the cleanliness in the restaurant, the hospitality, and of course the cost. They have a huge salad bar and great soups, including Southwest chicken chili, fire roasted tortilla, organic vegetable, tomato basil, and many, many more. And if you're planning an event, their catering department is fantastic and can handle any size party. Go check out Jason's Deli's 4 locations. On Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, that's my favorite, on Germantown Parkway in Cordova, at Poplar and Highland, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch.
You'll see the dedication in every single step. You'll see it in the smiles when smiles are hard to get. You'll see it in the little things that add up to success. The caring and passion are the things that we love best.
Wolf Chase Limb Brace is your Mid-South provider for orthotics and prosthetics. They are an ABC accredited facility, and their practitioners are ABC certified. At Wolf Chase Limb Brace, their services include artificial limbs, legs and arms, braces of all kinds, and custom molded inserts. You can call them today at 901-507-7821 for their location on Highway 64 in between Germantown Parkway and Appling Road, or visit them at their new location in Jackson, Tennessee. That number is 731-660-5900, or visit them on the web at wolfchaselemembrace.com.
Our life to yours. Wolf Chase Limb and Brace.
Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Wolosian and Brad Norsworthy.
Final portion of the show brought to you by Homer. That's Homer Skelton Hyundai and Olive Branch, and of course Genesis of Olive Branch. And we know how good that car is. That's my new baby. So proud of it, that G90. I'm just so proud of all the technology that Hyundai and Genesis have. We're talking 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty, car that lasts forever, a car that's so smooth, and the best part, a car that is so safe. All the safe things that are on there with all the cameras and the shakes, and it literally, if you put that car aid on, it won't let you hit stuff. It's amazing. It's amazing. And then so is the service that you get at Homer Skelton Hyundai. The perfect marriage between technology and service is Homer Skelton Hyundai. It's the way car business should be done. Go see for yourself. Get on Lamar. It becomes Highway 78 in Mississippi. The very first exit's Craft Road. Turn left, and you will see exactly what I'm talking about. Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch. It's crunch time.
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live. It's crunch time.
In your life have you seen anything like that?
Golly, I don't remember that one.
Take questions again for the student athletes at this time, please.
He's a professional. He's pretty classy for his age.
In the crunch time, that's the frustrating part.
Little Penny could make some appearances this year.
Okay, I'm not huge into stats.
Has it always been this way?
What's happening, big dog? How you doing?
Is this thing working?
Immediately when the buzzer sounds, he lets out this shriek.
He throw those ears forward. He was in stroke mode.
It's obviously crunch time.
Boop, boop, boop. That's what you're getting.
Time for Taco Bell Crunch Time. Taco Bell, home of the crispy tortilla chips, topped with a double portion of either seasoned beef or shredded chicken, plus refried beans, nacho cheese sauce, reduced fat sour cream, guacamole, and a 3-cheese blend. Nachos Bel Grande, heaping portion of chips, topped with ground beef, tomatoes, beans, nacho cheese sauce, and a dollop of sour cream. Taco Bell, home to great food you get on your way home real fast, and they bring you crunch time every day. We've all learned in these coaching carousels that fans, they want hope and change when they get a new coach, and it's made for everybody to be very pleased with who they get, regardless of who they get. They want to be supportive. They want to be fans. They want to win. I don't see anything wrong with everybody thinking their new coach is the one that's going to deliver them to the football glory they want. I don't see one thing wrong with it.
I learned today Steven Strasburg is a genius. He gave up $100 million guaranteed to get $245 million over the next 7 years. That's $35 million a year for the next 7 years. Wow.
I could have done without some of the bold chicanery yesterday. Most of it SEC, 7-5 teams fighting with 7-5 teams about where you go. When you're 7-5, be glad you go into a bowl.
Apparently the NFL is investigating an event involving a Patriots video crew taping in the press box
Not
yes,
again.
Yes, they were credentialed to do a Patriots web series called Do Your Job, and apparently they were on the Browns coaches for the whole first quarter. They never stopped shooting. First and second quarter trying to steal their signs.
Keeping a close eye on a very light night tonight in college basketball. Duquesne, one of the 8 undefeateds left in college basketball. Just
That's
8,
it.
is that right?
There's 6 in the top 25, so that sounds right.
And Grizzlies late at the new Chase Center in San Francisco.
That's what I'm watching. The Grizzlies late. That'll do it for us. Big show again tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most